even get like any spells past level 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Is it going?
Hey, everybody. That's the MHGameGuys one. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mile High Dungeon Delvers. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Clue.
I'm Allison.
It's Bob.
This is Leander.
And I am the DM, Wes. We are rejoining the team, wet and tired and beaten down, but victorious. Last time, the team concluded their chase of the Inquisitor Christiana Delmarev, catching up to her and engaging in a final, furious horseback combat. After successfully defeating her, here we are. Go.
Hip hip, hooray!
Do we know where Entropy's head is? Did we recover that?
Yes, you
Yeah.
found it.
We
Yeah.
did.
Hey, Wes.
Oh,
And we
We got loot
acquired-
from her.
Yes, some other.
Did you
loot.
hear it?
Yes, I
I'll
did.
say it again.
I also forgot the one other thing I wanted to do before the stream started.
What time of day approximately is it, Wesley? Is it like middle of the night?
I think
Not
it's
like middle of the
evening.
night, but late in the day,
Okay.
like 5.
And we haven't
kind
like
of
rested because we rode overnight.
Environment are we in? We're in like a field?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
we're
you're
in
in
a
like the
field.
farmlands. You know you're
We're outstanding.
just an hour or two away from town.
From Gofnerfurt?
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, we rode
Yeah, we
hard.
rode most of the way here.
Well, let's see here, because it was like noon, so it's probably like 7 o'clock at night right now.
And where is Trell and your sister?
I think
Are
they're
Right
with
here.
us?
They both say.
Hello, Trell and sister.
I think they were just hanging back a little bit. You know, they're not as fightery as us.
Trell, are you not as fightery as us?
I mean, I think I can hold my own.
I would like to see you duel.
He pulls out a glove. Are you
Tiki.
challenging me, sir?
We're so tired. Who is gonna duel Trell?
Alette.
Oh
Alette does
my
not
God.
believe he is fightery enough.
Let do what you want. Yeah, Nat's like ready to sleep.
Perhaps we should rest first, or
Sure.
we think we're only an hour from town?
Couple hours.
Should we
Yeah.
push it, or do we should take a rest?
Do we have any reason to believe that anyone else bears a threat to us? I don't think
People
so.
were watching us as we came on our horses.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they were, right?
I mean, they have connections.
Yeah.
But also, like, they might have people watching the gates for us, too. And if we come up there all super tired and drudgery.
Snipe us.
Okay, then let's camp here.
Yeah, let's camp. We're only 2 hours away.
You're telling me there's no other way to get into Gofnerfurt than through the gate.
That's
Well,
true. We came
how did
out
we
from a
leave?
weird tunnel.
So I used my memory of the terrain.
Yeah.
How far are we from that cave that we came out of?
You'd think that it would be, instead of like a 2-hour journey back to the town, that it'd be like a 4-hour journey to
Also,
get
there were worms down there.
to the worm tunnel and then
The worm.
to
We're not
town.
going that way.
Yeah. There's no way.
I'm absolutely not returning. You can bury me when I'm dead, Kanaz. Not before.
So that option's gone.
But we also know
Yeah.
many a smuggler of goods. There's no way that we can't get smuggled into the town with
Well, how are we going to get word to any of them?
bird flies over, delivers a note.
Trell, do you know any ways in?
I don't, but I'm sure Black Dagger would know. Or
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any anything to
Mousekeepers.
signify that we're working for the Baron? We don't have any way to really be like, hey,
I thought Trell.
we're at the gate now. We're envoys of the Baron. Please take us to him.
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's our Trell, right? Trell?
I mean, sure,
You made the deal with the Baron.
I did.
Do you have any proof of this deal?
Well, no, per se.
Let's just camp here and worry about it in the morning.
Let's camp.
Right.
And
Yeah,
let's-
maybe you should duel Trell.
I mean, I have his word and my experiences with him and my trust of him as an honorable person. But did he provide me some sort of documentation that can get us through the gate guards? No.
I mean, we also do have a lot of gold. We can pay our way through a gate if it really comes down to it. But I don't think it will. I mean, we can just go through. I still have a spell slot I can disguise. I still have enough strength of will and being awake and conscious to, I think, disguise myself one last time.
Can you disguise me?
No, I can only disguise myself. You're a person, though. I don't think you need to be disguised.
Oh,
Wow.
You're only worried
Wow.
'cause
Wow.
Wow. What am I then? Not a person.
You are a human and do not need to be disguised to enter this town.
That's the
Like
only
an
thing you're worried about? I wasn't sure if you were worried that like all of us were like
He meant me
no.
too.
And
No,
Yeah.
I am definitely more worried about the 3 tieflings in the group who are very well armed.
And
Let's
we
sleep.
have
inside.
we have a dead cleric as well.
We should asleep.
We should bury the one we just killed.
Christiana.
We should probably bury
The
her.
Inquisitor.
All right. Are we taking her with us?
We could take
No.
her head.
Oh, Nat,
Sorry.
you have gotten much darker lately.
Nature can be brutal.
It
Tiki.
can, indeed. But you are more of a rose or a flower,
Aw.
not
Hey.
a vulture.
They are fucking hardcore too. They have sex in the air all the time. But thank you. Yeah.
Roses?
I don't know. Do roses pollinate?
They have sex through the air, not
Yeah.
in the air.
I mean, I don't. That seems arbitrary, but sure. Also,
Yeah,
the
are
We
you
rose.
also have a
referring
lot
to
of
the
gentlemen
vultures?
callers. That
Yeah, I
Rose
thought you meant
is-
vultures.
What? No. Yeah, I mean them too. I guess sometimes.
eagles.
But
for sure.
roses, you know,
Bees,
that's the
definitely.
genital of the flower plant. You know that, right?
Wait, is not all sex taking place except underwater, in the air?
Got me there. I need to sleep.
Or in a vacuum chamber, but that doesn't seem healthy.
The
Please tell me
notification
that
still
was
in,
sorry.
says
in another plane with no atmosphere.
Right.
Adrian. The notification for Twitch still said join
I know, we're playing
Adrian
War
and
of the
Zach.
Worlds.
Oh.
Play or stream
Yeah,
of War of
people
the
were
Worlds.
bugging
We're not Adrian, we're
Correct
Zach.
facts.
Wait, we are Adrian, we're not Zach.
I'm Zach.
From behind.
I'm not
She's
Adrian.
not Zach.
I win.
Is that your best Zach?
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
I'm gonna hop on the stream.
Cut this from the
That's my Zach.
podcast.
So
He's
who's
eating all
taking
these.
first watch then? Are we?
that okay?
Do we have the necessary materials
We're
to set up
setting
camp?
up here.
Are we doing like a?
I will sleep on the floor.
Do we need to set up a fire?
Yeah.
What
probably.
floor?
The ground. The ground is the floor of nature.
The floor
Trell.
is lava.
So then, I don't know. You said that in a way as if there was another option. Don't worry, I'll sleep on the floor. You guys will be fine in those beds that happen to be here.
Yes.
I think I have a bedroll. That's what I use.
Well, we need to dry off first. Yes, at least you all do. My body doesn't need to dry off.
It's true.
I mean,
we
is
should
it
start
still
a fire.
raining?
We should definitely
Yo,
start
yeah.
a fire.
Yeah,
it's
so
still raining.
I don't know
The
that.
storm
I can
rages.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. It was a raging
Try
storm.
to do
You
something.
don't have anything now?
For those
can
of you
try
who
to do
saw it, the
something.
forms of giant beings in the clouds still persist.
Oh, they still persist? I thought that was some effect
Can
she
you-
was doing to us.
Yeah, I thought
I'm
there was an
going
increased
to,
effect from her as well. But wait, can we send a message to like someone in the town and ask if they're like on high alert for tieflings entering the city?
No, I need to figure out what these giant forms are. Can I do some kind of check?
Sure.
Right, dice box.
While they're doing their checks, can I, as a ritual, begin casting my tiny hut?
Yeah.
Okay.
A tiny hut?
A tiny hut.
A tiny
A
hut.
tiny hut.
Is there enough room for all of us?
It's Leoma's tiny hut. It's a 10-meter radius, and I can
So-
permit up to
I think you mean 10
9
foot.
creatures. Oh, 10 foot?
Yeah.
Well, 10-foot radius is still good.
I don't know, maybe
That's
it's...
good.
I think it's 10-foot radius.
Yeah, 10-foot
So we
radius.
can
is
all
fine.
fit?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it's
yeah.
big enough for everybody.
I mean,
It
that's
can
like the
hold up to
size of the
9
room we're
people.
currently in.
Yes.
Slightly smaller.
But there's at least 2 more people and a couple
Yeah,
horses.
10-foot radius.
True, the horses don't get to be.
Yeah, the horses don't
They'll
get to
be
go in
fine.
there. I love
If you
Abby,
didn't kill them.
but
And however long this takes, you'll notice
It's a
the
ritual,
rain
yeah.
rain stops in the area.
What color is it?
It's evocation, so it'll come off orange.
No, what color is your hut?
Yeah.
You get to make it
Comes
whatever
off
color you
orange.
want.
Okay, because you can
Yeah.
choose whatever you
I
want.
know, but
Okay,
it comes off orange.
cool. All right. So after 10 minutes of ritualizing, Darkasan erects a 10-foot radius half dome of pure orange energy.
Is it only
mine.
10 feet tall also? Do we have to,
Yes.
like...
Yes, it's 10 foot
Does
tall.
Tiki have to duck?
You might have to duck in the
I'm fine.
corners.
You can stand in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm not that tall. 5'11".
But on the inside, it is,
Quite roomy.
well,
And a good ambient temperature. It's opaque to the world outside. You can see the trees as if they're not blocked by like a orange
Right.
glass. It's
it's opaque
just-
from
you
the
see the
outside
rain
and transparent
hitting
from
the
the,
top of it.
from the inside.
Correct.
That's
sliding
cool.
down the sides.
Nat
blanket,
stands
yeah.
outside
It's
in
dry
the
and-
rain and stares into the clouds.
Okay.
And I'll
Roll
start a
an
fire.
Arcana.
Sitting outside the dome?
Arcana?
I'll start a fire inside the space.
I'm just standing in the rain trying to figure
I'll
out
take
what
nature
the
actually if you,
Scary.
because you're a druid.
Nature's a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm using this one.
I would hope so as a druid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
FYI, they all leveled up between. Hence
I got
the
so
level 5
much,
spell, or
so
level
much.
And Miss
2,
Levac
3,
did not
the
roll
spell
well.
that he didn't have last
I
time.
don't
How
think
much
I know
life
what these
do I
things
have?
are. I only got a 10.
Oh, yeah.
A
it-
10.
They're like, well, what do they look like at least? Like they're big, creepy forms in the.
They are humanoid, like, not humanoid, but they are like in Lion King, where Mustafa appears in the clouds to Simba. It's like
And then it
that,
smells sex in
but
the
people.
background.
But they're like more humanish shaped creatures.
Can I do a check
Okay.
on it?
But you know that there are forces of nature that exist beyond the control and comprehension of man.
I do.
Perhaps never witnessed it so up close, but you don't know anything else.
With her poor role and interest in such things, Nat is going to assume this is some kind of appearance of the old gods, definitely, and sleep outside and pray.
Can I do a check on it?
Yeah.
What check?
Are we
Nature or Arcana?
Checking on the hut? Is that what they're checking?
No,
on?
on
No,
the
the
humanoid
clouds.
figures in the clouds.
Going down.
10.
That's what I got.
Oh, that's what you got?
Yeah. You know it is
Are they recognizable?
like
Like their
people that
faces?
you know? No.
Yes. They're humanoid?
Yeah.
Are they human?
No. Maybe.
Some of them? They're out of focus. I want more detail!
You have no idea.
Did,
10 out
I
of
thought I
10.
showed a picture last time.
I mean,
Oh.
they're storm giants,
Yes.
if you really have to know.
Why are they there?
Light or knowledge.
Because I don't know, that's their passing cloud.
Do storm giants, like, live in the sky?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Is it not this book?
I don't know.
Something like that.
There's some in that book.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
That the storm giants lived in the clouds.
It's alright. You've not been around
Does
for
make
long.
sense.
Very well.
Thanks for rubbing it in, Darkasan.
Like that.
Like that person with the...
Cool.
See how it's
No.
got these two words?
What
What's
is it,
this?
that picture? It might be the picture on something on the opposite page, you
No.
dick.
No. This one.
He's clearly
you.
pointing at that to you.
But more in the form of a cloud than so corporeal as that.
Do we still really see them up there?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And they're just
Alright.
going about their business, having a storm.
Living a life.
Okay.
Having a storm.
Having a
Having a
storm.
Having a storm.
Are they like, boom?
Yeah. They're throwing lightning at each other. Oh.
It's
That's
like
great.
some, like, badminton.
You don't even want to know what the thunder's made out of.
Mostly farts.
Yeah.
Great.
Awesome.
Good thing it doesn't smell like that, I
That's how
guess.
this is storm.
Ah, the
giant
smell
waste.
of fresh rain.
Uh,
Nat
Can
says
you-
while thinking she's pointing to the old guy.
Can you hear us? I assume it's not like.
No, I'm just standing outside, like
Okay.
getting wet.
Yeah.
Probably, like
That's
on
fine.
my knees,
Do your
like,
thing.
doing a
You
chant
sure you don't want to
in
be?
a language nobody recognizes.
You sure you don't want to be in here where it's warm and dry?
No, sometimes it's important to be part of the elements. You know, I'm gonna stay out here.
Don't drown.
Enjoy your eggs
Meditate on my
tomorrow morning.
spells. Oh, okay. I won't drown.
Darkason, what is this space? I've never seen you do this before.
It's something I remember our In my youth, when I traveled with the Eladrin, they often cast this as we moved around, and I just, it came to me. I felt like I could do it.
Very well. Is it always orange?
I think that's because I'm not familiar with it as much. I didn't put thought into making it look good.
Oh.
You can change how it looks.
It's certainly eye-catching.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is it denies anyone who I don't invite from coming in.
So they'll just be gathered around outside investigating the giant orange ball.
At best, yeah.
I
they'll
can
have
still
no idea what's
hear
inside.
you.
They can see us too,
Cannot.
correct?
No, it's like an orange ball in the field.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just a bright orange.
Oh.
10 foot tall.
I didn't really
10
try
foot-
to
yeah.
hide it. I'm sorry,
10 foot
okay?
radius.
I'm a bit rusty at this one.
Okay. Very well. Well, if something happens, Nat will let us know ahead of time.
We'll see. We see her outside.
She can't see us. Well, she can
Right.
see us.
I
She
can-
can
because
see
well, I
us
can
from
see
the
the
outside
dome.
in, but we
I
can see from the inside out.
I
Okay,
can't see
right.
your
It's a matter of
individual
perspective.
forms. I suppose I can probably hear you, maybe?
Yeah, you can hear
You
us.
can choose, I think, whether sound goes in or out.
Sure, but I didn't put effort. I just saw
Fair.
if I could try.
I
Very
think
well.
sound still goes out regardless.
Ah.
Okay.
But spells
That
cannot.
was the Chwazi for some reason, I agree.
Nat, can you hear me
Push the
out
wrong
there?
button on my phone.
Yeah, what's up, Tiki?
If you sleep
Mm-hmm.
and you're ambushed, we won't. I mean, you should be in here with us.
It is much
Alright.
safer in
Won't you be awake? Since you don't sleep.
Yes, I will.
You
be.
can see me just fine, right?
Yes.
Great, I feel safe.
If she wants to get a crick in her neck, she can.
She may get more than a crick in her neck.
She may get an arrow to the knee.
Oh,
Very well. If necessary, I will drag you inside.
thank you, Tiki. And I continue to chant in a language nobody has ever heard.
So who's doing first watch? And
I think it's just gibberish.
Yep.
all right.
She's just
Darkest
making
Song.
up.
Yeah, that's right. If you hadn't heard it, and you've been around the block.
Yeah, somebody roll perception for the evening and
Darker
take,
Song.
take advantage.
With advantage?
Yeah, because Tiki's up all night aiding you.
Make me find a second D20. Oh, our proficiency's up. I got a 28.
What was the other die?
An 18 and a 7.
Okay. The evening passes without incident. The rain kind of lasts until the middle of the night and starts to clear. The morning sun breaks the clouds, and you can see that the storm has just kind of gone past and is heading north and just sort of rumbling along, doing its thing. But otherwise, nothing happens.
Great.
I spring up with leaves plastered to the side of my face, and still wet, and my hair is awful. Good morning.
Good morning, Nat.
See, nothing bad happened, Mr. Tiki.
I know.
And I peel one off me. The smell of the rain, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Of course. So, what are we going to do with this head?
Good question.
Take you to the Baron, right?
Yeah, but how do we get in the gates without getting killed?
I say at this point, we just go up.
I
Why would
agree.
someone kill us?
People have been trying to kill us for 3 months.
I haven't figured
Not
it out
wrong.
yet. I don't have that perception.
2 months. How long has the fiction been? 1 month.
Yeah, just about.
People have been killing us for an entire moon, Mr. Tiki. They're not gonna stop now.
Well, I feel like for most of us, it's been far longer than a moon that people have been trying to kill us.
That's true.
But they still haven't succeeded.
That's right. Yeah.
Or have they?
We're already dead.
Oh.
We died at the
no,
plantation.
twist ending.
We died at the plantation. No.
Oh God! In episode 0, when
Yeah.
we burned the barn down.
It
We
was
were-
time to go.
Oh, dear Lord. Watch episode 0 to find out more.
Listen to.
Listen to it. That's
There's no
right. There is no watch.
Yeah,
Or
it was-
or watch it. I don't know.
Or, yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Live your life.
That's true. You put on like the Windows Media
Yeah,
Player
and then just like watch the
equalizer or
screensaver
something.
thing go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a little chemical assistance and enjoy yourself.
All right.
Okay. Well, then it seems like we should send a message inside first. Perhaps to at least have some sort of backup plan in case something goes wrong.
Well, good thing for us that when I was meditating about all those ancient gods in the sky, which is definitely what they were, I've decided. I also meditated on Animal Messenger.
Oh.
So we have that. But we need to get closer, I think. Well, not necessarily.
Can't you just fly in?
It never goes well for me, but I could try. I really need more practice, you know. Get my flight wings. But
Should I not push you out of a tree?
please don't.
That is what mother birds do, yes?
That
She's
from
not a
you,
bird, Tiki.
coming from shut
obviously.
up. I can be a bird if I want.
What if she were to bird up?
It would come from a place of love, so I would accept it if you pushed me out of a tree. But
Very
you
well.
know, let's do it the old-fashioned way, where
Let's not push her out of a tree,
Yeah.
please.
Oh.
where I'm on the ground the whole time till I fly.
I cast Gust and make you go 5 feet up.
Yeah.
Is it
I just
obvious
fall
that
on my
you
ass.
casted a
I don't
spell?
have any cantrips for this. Yes, I just go 5 feet up and I fall on my ass, and like a few more of the leaves that were on me like come off when I hit the ground, and like all the hair goes in front of my face.
I believe you need to flap your wings.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
That
How
doesn't
many
have
times have you been a
wings. Oh
bird?
my god.
How many people here are birded? Only me. It's more difficult than it looks. I swear to God, your bones are so light. It's like you have no control. That worm incident.
Interesting.
We need to
They
get
have a
going.
light body.
She's learned so much about birding in a week. 3 days since she learned to bird.
Oh my God, they're the longest 2 days of my life. It feels like it could have been 3 to 4 episodes, for example.
Could have been months in some alternate dimension.
In some other world.
Very well. Who should we send the message to?
The Baron.
We could send a message to the Baron and
Tell
ask
him we're
him to have
here.
guards at the
We
gate
have the head.
to meet us.
Let us through.
Yes, let's
If
do
the
that.
Baron receives many bird messengers.
Probably should use Trell's voice.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he could cast it.
Yeah.
That'd be fine.
Trell, you
Yeah,
okay with
Trell,
this?
make yourself useful.
God, Alette.
This duel is coming.
I'm very useful. If not for my ability to track the Inquisitor across the landscape at such speed, you would have not caught her.
I believe you people say, "Oh snap."
The children say, "Oh snap!"
Oh,
Yes.
the children.
Does anybody actually say "Oh snap"?
Nobody says that.
Do the youths?
Maybe Trell
The
does.
youths say it.
Hello, fellow youths.
the gnomes say it.
The gnomes. That's right. That's
Yeah.
something they would do.
Very well. Let's send the message.
Okay, what is he sending?
We're here. We have the head.
Here, can I have my notebook?
Make way for the heroes of Gofnerfurt.
We'll write it down. No, don't listen to her.
Maybe not.
Not that you're in danger of listening to her.
Hey.
I think
Sorry.
we should say we're returning with Lady Entropy.
Yes.
Not with
Oh.
her head.
Yeah, maybe we should.
We don't
leave
have to
that part out.
specify.
I thought that part was fine. That part was negotiable, right?
Message.
No, that part was specified.
That she should be alive?
No, that she should be dead.
Oh, well then that's even better.
It's implied. We don't even have to include it.
Yeah.
So,
We have returned successful.
who is we? The
Heroes of Gofnerfurt.
I was gonna say the
Troubadours.
No.
the Estimary Troubadours
No.
featuring Trell.
No.
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 And Daria.
Inquisitor Slayers.
with special guests Trell and Daria.
Inquisitor Slayers. We have returned.
I don't
No,
think
don't.
we should
No, we
advertise
should
that.
not talk about this. Inquisitors are fine.
Super not part
They're
of the thing
alive
we were
and
supposed
happy.
to do.
They're
I mean,
alive
it
and
sounds
happy.
like the Baron doesn't like.
I don't think he
love
gives that much of a
them,
shit,
so,
but
yeah.
let's not
No,
exclude.
you're right,
I'm
my
sure.
bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, says Trell, he probably hoped you would kill each other.
Well, look
Joke's
who's
on
laughing
him,
now. All right. It is I, Trell.
That sounds just like me.
Then you write the stupid message.
Why don't just Trell just send it? Just whatever you want to say, Trell.
It is
It is I, Trell.
That's so not Trell.
Look, it takes a little bit to get
What's
his
his
voice.
Trell? Wait.
He's like standing right
Trell,
here.
what's your last name?
I don't have one.
Me neither.
That's
High
so
five.
insensitive. Oh, nice. Twist. It is I, Trell. We have returned with Lady Entropy.
Victorious.
We have returned victorious.
Lee.
Yeah, you don't have to say like, exactly what it is. Leave an air of
With
mystery.
Lady Entropy.
No, leave that part out.
Please.
No, we need that part.
Please
That's our
prepare
That's our golden ticket.
Just say we're victorious.
guards to receive us.
Be mysterious.
In 2 hours.
In 2 hours. Wait, at midday? I don't know. What time is it? Receive us
It's the morning.
Soonly.
this
Right.
early morning, or this late morning.
Is it late morning?
Well, it'll be late morning when we arrive, because it's early morning now. Or
True.
Is there any pizza for breakfast?
at
No.
the West Gate?
If we had made it to town, yes.
Yes.
Maybe
At the West
tomorrow.
Gate.
At the West Gate.
Maybe we can.
Okay.
have some
No,
for
the
lunch.
East Gate. Sorry.
At the East Gate.
Oh yeah,
At
it's
the
your
East.
friend's place.
Okay, the message we should have Trell read, I think, Trell. It is I, Trell. We have returned victoriously with Lady Entropy. Oh, it rhymes. Please prepare guards to receive us this late morning at the East Gate. Can we make it rhyme
Can
twice,
we say,
though?
and do not try to deceive
Yeah,
us?
it's not quite I am but
It
Is
is
that a
I, Trell.
requirement?
We have returned victorious.
Don't worry about the boss.
Yeah, let's have him wrap it. Let's have him wrap it. That'd be very Trell.
I was just doing iambic pentameter. God.
if somebody
It's like
beatboxes
you've
in the
never read
background, just
songs.
Alcinger pick it up.
Yo, my name is
God.
And I'm here to say.
I'm here to say.
This is
Turn,
obviously.
turn.
V2.
Victorious. Leave.
V2. Yo, my name is Trell.
This is obviously season finale. This is obviously
We're a
season
little
finale.
we're getting a little punch drunk now.
All right.
Yo, my name
No,
is
I'm
Trell,
always
and I'm
like
here
this.
to say
Oh my god.
We bring you the head of this lady today.
we have returned victoriously with Lady Entropy.
I can't.
No changes.
All right, we're gonna send
We
that
have,
message.
so we're done. We send
Yeah,
it.
the message is sent.
Great rap. Send
Yeah,
it.
great. Save your barding for another time.
I would make a fine bard, Mr. Tiki. I might not have slept enough.
I don't. Yeah, maybe not well.
Because you were outside the dome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did the dome last all night?
Till morning. when it
8 hours.
faded.
Fantastic. Do any of you need food? Or
Do I get that?
I do
spell
not.
slap
So
back?
I'm not sure if
Yeah,
the
'cause
rest
it
of
was
us
a
do.
Yes, so
Pull out
strange
some
of you
hearts
to
back
notice
as a
and
ritual.
care.
Yeah,
Yeah, we might just eat rations or something.
Okay.
What? Sure.
I wish to dig a hole. I will say I was digging a hole already during the nighttime because it takes a while to dig a hole.
Yes.
During the rap.
And I
we were
will
digging.
then
No, well, he
bury.
doesn't have to sleep.
Especially a hole that is 6 feet by 2 feet by 6 feet.
Yes.
Or doesn't somebody have move earth?
yeah. I could have just
No, well, I didn't take it.
whatever.
Do you have a
Dark-Sun
shovel?
has it.
In my row of useful items.
There you go.
Ooh.
What's in
I'm
your
almost
Patch
certain it
out.
does. Yeah.
Bam. Shovel.
Nicely
And
done.
digs all
Ah.
night.
I will at some point during my 2 hours of very light activity do some very light digging.
That's fine.
I don't.
Some lazy digging.
when I stop my reverie in the morning, I'll help you bury her
Yeah.
by
Your
just
reverie?
moving the earth.
His trance.
Perfect. Is there a ritual of types? You're the most religious of us, yes?
Is that actually a true statement?
It's true.
If
Well, I
I'm the
think
most
it's
religious of
probably-
us, then she actually prays to gods.
Well, yes, but they don't know I exist or care about me, so I think probably Tritherian's a better bet in
Tritherian.
general for.
Let's
you
do the
know,
Tritherian prayer of dead.
this
Oh,
kind of thing.
Tritherian!
Receive.
Do not bless this body, for
Yeah,
it was
she
evil.
did. She did attack us in vengeance.
That's true.
Yeah, but Tritherian's author also got a freedom, and she attacked us in vengeance to subjugate us. So
Now she will be forever free in death.
And you killed her.
yeah, sure.
I mean,
Amen.
I don't know
And I
what you
start
call
pushing Turkey.
I actually think that's probably fine.
That was actually probably good enough for her.
What do you think? What do you
Mr.
think?
Tiki doesn't care at all.
Okay, you ready to go?
Is Tratherian
Look.
care? Is he gonna kill us for doing that?
No, we revenged
My-
ourselves upon her.
my-
If
And then you
anything,
are all
he'd bless
struck
us.
dead.
My Lord Tritherian.
Game over.
Carry her to her patron now that she's been given her final freedom from this mortal coil.
Mine was better.
Great eulogy.
Fantastic.
We have freed her from this mortal coil.
Man.
May you carry her soul to.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Roll a religion check.
This is why you lost your powers.
5e paladins don't get their powers from their gods.
They don't.
He did good.
Where do they come from?
He did good.
Faith of your convictions. 15.
Okay. Something may or may not have happened.
We'll find out. Did we need to take anything off? Well, she's already the
No, we
We took a bunch of stuff
Yeah, we
from
took
her.
all
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, we already did.
Yep.
Great.
Do you want to read the loot list? that
we
you
did.
did?
The
Or did
corpses
everyone
have
get
been
what they
loot.
wanted? Already.
She's merely girded upon.
Plate
the
armor,
loins.
magical greatsword, +1.
Who wanted that? The
Entropy's
magical
head,
I think she's-
gems. Fine silk robe with silver embroidery. 200 gold piece. Gold rings. 500
those
gold
quartz.
worth of pink quartz.
The rose quartz.
That's all I wrote down.
I don't think anyone took the sword because it has like St. Cuthbert.
Yeah.
So
crest
does the
on it.
armor, and it's like heavy.
We might want to.
Well, and also there's a reasonable chance that we might get, like, searched at some point.
Let's bury that with her.
Yeah, let's bury.
Okay.
Can you move that dirt back, Darkus on?
We just buried it with her. We did it.
Yeah, we
Oh,
already
it
It
did
was
it.
part of.
You were
If we
marching.
didn't take it, then it's on her still.
Yeah,
Great.
there you go.
Okay, easy. All right, message has been sent. Body has been buried.
I wake up, well, at some point during this morning, after I've redone my spells, I do Find Steed, and Darkfeet returns.
Yes!
Great.
He's back.
Say to
He
him
is perturbed.
in my
He's
mental
perturbed.
thing, hello, old friend. That did not go as anticipated yesterday.
It did not. He thinks back at
Hey!
you.
Hey!
Speaking of, do we have any other horses?
Abby, for
I
sure.
think so.
I think we left Hististeroth, or as somebody cleverly nicknamed him, Horstisteroth.
He wasn't that far behind, though.
Like an hour at least.
No. We weren't galloping that hard.
Could I have found Horstisteroth?
If you want to spend some time to look for him.
Well, we also have.
Hey,
I
Darkfeet,
kinda do.
could you go
That's not suspicious.
gallop quickly and see if you could find the rest of the horses and gather them and bring them? They should be together. They knew each other beforehand. They would have found each
Yeah,
other.
if I like took
Darkfeet's
Horses are pack
Darkfeet,
animals.
could I
I
find?
know, but it was just a
Horstisteroth? Could I at
callback
least
to how
look
we stole them
for like
from
an
their
hour?
prior owner.
Yeah, if you want to spend an hour looking, you can find them. Yeah.
Yeah, is that a good use of
What?
an
I
hour?
didn't hear what you said.
I think
I'm
that's
trying to
fine.
We
get-
spend an hour
Spend
to
an
wrangle
hour
up
to
the
look for them.
horses.
Yeah, I'm trying
Yeah,
to
why
get
not?
Horstisteroth.
We have to
back.
wait till mid-morning anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when we were planned to be. in
And we're only
town.
2 hours away.
I find Horstisteroth, and I hug him, and I'm like you didn't leave me. You're okay. And I want to do like an animal handling check to see how like good this goes. 15. Is he happy to see me?
He is horse.
He's horse, and I hug him. Horses should always.
Be horse.
Yeah,
But
horse
only for
yourself.
themselves.
Yeah, okay, I get on Horstisteroth. I guess he has no bridle, right? Like, or saddle. Because no, he would
Oh, we
have.
found
He
Tack.
would have.
Yeah, we found Tack.
Because
We
got
would
him-
not have been able to
well,
make that ride.
He was one of the original like group of the Inquisitor and the other guys with the cart. He was one of their horses.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah.
I would
So he might be a
also
warhorse?
Sure.
take off any St. Cuthbert-y stuff that is on that, or throw away any
Now
colored,
that we have some
colored
time.
cloth
They
blanket
probably
that
have
would be
brands
there.
on them that say they're from the Empire. Just saying.
I don't know. That's more of like a ranch
Brands
thing.
their horses.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
they would be
know.
branded maybe by a ranch, but like
Not by like.
I attempt to remove any
Yeah.
insignia.
You are able to do so. There are no brands.
I guess brands aren't used as much for horses as much as cows.
Yeah, and like sheep, like animals that you would raise on a ranch.
I take Abby over to Darkfeet.
Okay.
to observe their interactions.
They horse together.
I know, Mr. Tiki.
Maybe
Finally,
I-
you can do
Maybe I
matchmaker on
can't
the
do.
horses.
Maybe I'm not a human person. Maybe I'm a horse matchmaker.
Great.
Oh my god! It literally just occurred to me that's what you were doing. That's very cute.
All right.
Maybe there will be foals for the springtime. That would be
Dark
lovely.
feet foals.
That would be weird and plainer.
Yeah.
They would come out like, well, I guess like tieflings.
So that's how you make tieflings.
Do not give Mr. Tiki any ideas, Daria. Or whoever said that. I
That
assume
sounds like a Daria thing.
That sounds
yeah.
like a Daria thing for sure. Not as smart, but cuter.
Anyway, then you head to town.
Yeah, I think so. We head
Let's
to the
go.
East Gate. Troll would have sent like a flying messenger because a squirrel would not be able to cover ground that fast.
I
Right?
assume.
Can you send a bug?
Or he could have taken a squirrel, and then
No.
Irie could have grabbed the squirrel and flown.
Totally. It
squirrel to
says
it.
target beast travels for 24 hours, covering up to 50 miles for
Yeah.
flying or 25 miles for other animals. That's pretty fast. That's like, I mean, a mile an hour for like a squirrel is pretty fast. So maybe it beats us.
Especially if we're just plodding along and not galloping.
That's
Right.
true.
You take your time.
We're all still pretty tired.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you arrive at the town. There's a line of people at the gates, like before, just busy, normal morning business of travelers and festival goers
The festival's
coming
still
in and out.
happening.
Yes. So
Oh, it is? Dang.
Yeah, it's like the final days of it.
yeah, you know
Compete?
what?
No.
No. You notice in the line that there's advertisements that the Tournament of Champions was final battle, melee combat tournament was last night, and today is the final feast of the tournament to celebrate the champion, Beatrice Hartzman.
Hey.
Oh, shit.
Good job, Alette.
As we get closer, to all of you, I think it would probably appear as though I did disguise self, but I actually cast my new 2nd level spell, alter self. And so for the next hour, I don't just look like that human guy I turn into. I if you touch it matches. Like the horns aren't just magically hidden anymore.
Nice.
So you can't detect it just by feeling me up anymore.
Whoa.
I make my cloak look extremely inconspicuous and put it over my horns.
How long does that last?
An hour.
Okay.
Like just enough to get us through the guards is mostly what I'm concerned about.
Yep. Trell is not concerned.
I'll put a rope around
Or-
Omega 1's neck and make it seem like he's my dog. So this is all normal. Mechanical saber-tooth tiger next to a warforged. This is gonna be just fine, guys. We did it before.
Does he fetch?
Sometimes, yes, he does whatever I say.
Omega, fetch that stick.
My voice only. Unless I command him to listen to your voice.
Command him to fetch that stick.
You are commanding me.
That's not really what
Heavy-handed,
tigers
Alette.
do either.
But he's pretending to be a dog.
Anyway, so then, so you head into town, and it's sort of less busy than it had been in the previous days that you had experienced. It's like the final day in the sense that most people aren't staying around for the last feast and the Baron's speech and all that nonsense. They wanted to see the combat, and the combat's over, so they're getting out of town. They have crops to look after or whatever. So it's a lot of stalls are closing up, and really the main part of the festival has moved into just the old city in the upper part of town. But you walk through the gates, no problems. At some point, you go at least near or past the big temple of St. Cuthbert that's in the middle of town, right at the stairs that go up into the old city. And you do see a small gaggle of clerics of St. Cuthbert just kind of standing outside that do observe you as you pass.
Other Inquisitors?
No. Maybe.
Just
I mean,
priests.
no, not like big armored, same kind of Inquisitor, but just priests.
I observe them back. Do I notice anything weird with a 20 passive perception? Or they're just like...
No.
Okay.
They're
Like-
just like watching you
Yeah.
and maybe taking note of your passage.
Does it seem like they like know who we are or were expecting us?
I don't know, roll an insight check.
I'm just gonna awkwardly smile at them.
14.
It seems as if they expected that somebody was going to be coming that they should be keeping an eye out for, whether it was you or the Inquisitors, you don't know, but that they are definitely standing at attention in order to keep an eye out for something. And when they saw you, they looked at you and watched you.
Whoa.
We are something.
I wish I still had one of those great swords because I'd like pull my cloak back to show it.
Ooh, power move.
You left both of them?
Yeah, well, I left the one way back at the town after
Okay.
it failed me, and then
Oh,
we left
gotcha.
the other one with.
I thought you still
Yeah,
kept
we
it because you were going to
buried,
give it.
Katrinka, or whatever her name is.
Parastriker.
Cool.
No,
Christiana.
I don't think so. Well, maybe I did keep it.
Delmaret.
I don't know.
Sure, I have it, but it's well hidden, well wrapped up and bundled.
Oh, we didn't bury her with
Well,
it? You
no,
have it?
I have the
Oh,
The
the
other one. I
previous
don't
one.
remember you
Got
ever
it.
saying that you
Got
weren't going to
yeah.
take it.
So it's wrapped up very, very.
Yeah, fair enough. But you get up past the festival grounds and through the main parts of the upper city and to the gates of the keep where you are expected, and there are soldiers.
Hello, we are here to talk to the Baron.
Are the gates closed?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, that's
They
not
kind of
bad,
always
yeah,
are.
Yeah.
Wait, we're not just going into the old city. We're going up to.
So
the...
we went
you
up
went into
through
the
the
old
old
city
city. I thought we were
to
at
the
the
keep,
keep.
which
Now
is
we're
on
at
the
the far north
Yeah.
side of the town. Yeah.
We need to see the Baron.
We
And
have
you
something.
are-
We're
show him.
expected. We're with Trell.
I take my head
Trell's.
down.
Yeah. One moment, says one of the guards who slips inside, and then a small steward, kind of older, bent-over gentleman comes out and introduces himself as Ethar.
So with
And
2 E's.
and 2 A's and a Q.
We thought.
And bids you to follow him.
He's he human?
Yep.
Okay. I follow him.
Yep. Stride right along.
For those of you who had entered the keep before, you recognize the main hall and its vaulted ceilings and tall kind of Gothic architecture, and a small squad of guards sort of flanks you as you go down and into an audience hall where the Baron awaits.
I super do not go first.
I will lean
Maybe-
over to Ethar. Ethar,
Yes.
is this a trap?
Please, this way.
Oh, do we overhear this? Yeah, because I want to insight
Yeah.
that.
Oh, who's come?
16.
19.
Ooh.
You get no sense that he is leading you into a trap.
Okay.
Very well. Your response was not adequate. However, you answered my question.
The Baron awaits you.
Right. So we head into the Baron's meeting hall.
Who has entropy's head?
I
You do? Okay. Tarkason has it.
I just got scared. Mr. Tiki ever get scared? I don't know why. Mr. Tiki is now
Ooh.
feeling fear.
Interesting.
He does not understand why.
Okay. So the Baron is sort of sitting on a modest throne-like chair, and you're announced. Ethard gives your names, even though none of you.
The heroes of Gofnerfurt.
No, he does not say that. And then,
We're the Estonor
yep.
troubadours for the last time.
and the Baron says,
I should go to Gofnerfurt.
"Ah, Trell, I see you have returned, having completed the task put before you. Do you bring proof of this task?"
Dark Sun.
But of course.
I casually reach into my bag and
Is it missing?
I pull out her head.
Thank God.
She's a bit burnt. And I lob it towards him. And then I reach in again.
The skull clambers on the ground, kind of at the foot of the chair,
And I
Ethar
I
kind
pull
of
and
scuttles
sort of
over and gathers it up.
shake out a limp body that's like wrapped in cloth as well.
Oh
I'm
my
like, here's the
God.
rest of her.
Why'd you
Mm.
give
I
so
mean-
much?
I don't like the idea of the head and body being too far apart. It's weird to me.
That's weird to you? I mean, all right.
What does the Baron look like?
He looks like a sort of middle-aged, blonde man with a long beard, blue eyes, chiseled jaw, without the beard, but whatever. Sort of very prototypical, almost Greek features in that
Okay.
sense.
Human, obviously.
Human, yeah. And he wears the colors of the town in a very noble outfit. Ethar scuttles over there to the rest of the body and gathers that up, and then passes it off to another steward who takes it into a back room. And the Baron says, my court priests will verify the authenticity.
I'll kind of awkwardly
So-
wait.
How's that done? Through like her teeth or something?
Some sort of magic I don't
Some
understand.
divination.
Yeah, it's
Sounds
for
like-
those
Speak
for
with
those who
dead.
are gifted in the things.
Ew.
Yeah, that'd be rough.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Baron, question.
please.
Oh no.
Can you set all tieflings free?
That was what I was about to say in not so few words.
Wait, really?
Then I will allow you to say it.
Yes, per our previous agreement, you have rid me of this thorn, and I will make an announcement at the grand feast tonight that the plan is to, at least within my power, within the walls of this city, release from bondage your peoples.
Do an insight check.
I mean, is he
So
only
untrustworthy.
addressing Nat?
I have really
And
high
Trow.
insight.
Trow.
Okay.
Trell.
17.
He's very genuine.
Okay. I say nothing.
I would like to do this immediately, but I'm sure it will come as a bit of a shock to the system, the city, the people in it. There are those in town that will oppose it. There are those in town who are very in favor of it, obviously. So I have, since you left, been working with my merchant council and my advisors here to figure the best way, should you return successfully, to do that. So I believe we will be able to move with haste to allow that here in the town, perhaps the nearby countryside, and so yes. I believe that we will make that step. We will be able to do so. I have the legal authority, at least within these walls, to do such without the king's permission.
You are not afraid of repercussions from the Empire?
No.
Or even the church. Your largest cathedral in this town is a Cuthbert church.
This is true. I mean, this was not a decision that we took on lightly, certainly. But I believe it to be the right thing, and that there is support enough for it in the town that we can have this transition peacefully.
Very well.
I would invite you to dine with me at the feast tonight and be at my side when I make the announcement.
Feast sounds delightful.
Very well.
Here's a good meal.
That will be fine.
Right, Ola?
Yes.
Great.
Fantastic. Make
May
your
we-
preparations and be back here at the keep at the appointed time. I'm not exactly sure. I'm sure somebody will give you details.
What a bureaucrat. I don't say out loud. We get the details from Ether.
Ethar does
Thank you. Ether.
then
Before we're
brief you
done,
on the way out.
Okay.
Baron, what comes after that? You make the proclamation. You free our people in the city,
Yes.
but do you support taking this higher, trying to get the king here in Remblauer to...
Yes. In fact, I was planning to nominate or to appoint a special envoy to the king. I'm sure he will be as surprised by the proclamation as anyone else. So I felt it necessary to send an envoy to him to explain and to urge him to follow suit.
Do you think you will?
I think it may take some convincing, perhaps, but he is not a stupid man, for sure, and would understand the realities of our situation here. There is more to it. I'm sure you are aware than just the slavery of a people, but the economic and war elements of that and how that ties into the socioeconomic pursuits of the region and so forth.
What is he talking about?
No.
Over my head.
Yeah. Yes.
Very well.
You have more interaction with the nobles of the land than any of us. Do you think
yes.
there's broad support across the nation?
Yes, broad, sure, but not perhaps unanimous.
And do you feel there will be any retribution coming from the kingdoms to the south?
Almost certainly.
And you're prepared to deal with that?
Yes. That was, in fact, part of why I felt this action was necessary with our wars with the kingdoms to the south. It would be prudent to set ourselves apart and take that moral stand to help our position against them.
Very well.
If you must fight the kingdoms of the south, you will not be alone.
I appreciate that. Perhaps we can still find further use of your team in those pursuits.
I would be happy to look into arrangements to that end.
Very well. Think on it.
Would we... I don't know how to say it better than this, but we have a young woman traveling with us who really is not fit for this.
She peeks out from behind Alette.
And could do... she could do with more training, is what I'm saying. Would there be any means to get her sent to a more proper school for magic training?
I wouldn't know anything about magic training outside of what the church can offer, I'm afraid. As it is.
How about a ship to send her north?
Certainly, yes.
Okay. I just feel like she could learn quite a bit more, but I don't know if... Not to say it was ill of her, she's been great, but...
In fact, I do believe that
It feels
our...
a danger to have her out there, you know?
I do believe our good champion... I have to...
Beatrice.
Miss Hartzman is planning to take her winnings to her hometown on the coast and something, I believe, to help her father with his shipping business.
Could be perfect.
I'm sure she would be more than happy to escort the young lady.
Yes, well, maybe, Alette, maybe you should accompany your sister on this long journey.
Maybe I will.
That reminds me, sir. You are freeing the tieflings throughout the town. Do you have any plans to also lift the Cuthbertian ban on magics that are not...
As I said, I
religious?
do not know of such things, and it is, I believe, one progressive step at a time may be in the best strategy for now.
May we bring one additional person to this dinner? We've made many friends in the city.
Yes, of course, whomever.
Very well. You have the money.
Who are you?
It's obviously Crystal, you weirdo.
He did say whomever.
I
All
wanted
right.
to make sure it wasn't one of his
Assistants?
assistants.
Denting
The Dentons.
Dent girls.
Now, if you would
The dent
please be on your way and make your preparations, and I will see you all this evening.
Indeed. Thank
Very
you.
well.
And Ethar leads you out and provides you with writ of your right to return at the appointed time for the feast. You each have a +1 or whatever, and so forth.
Thanks, old man. That's to
Ethar.
Ether, not the Baron.
Right.
So, Alette, you gonna go with your sister up north with what was her name?
I'm gonna go
The
find
champion of Gofnerfurt?
Shut up. I thought you said magic schools were in the east.
There's some to the north as well.
Okay.
So
There's some to the east. They'd be...
Yeah.
Yes, true.
Darkest Sun would know, and that the schools to the east are like the places to go study magic. That's in literally the areas where magic is birthed from the earth, that stand on some of the most ancient magical sites in the world. But to the north, in the Elven lands, they have perfectly passable universities.
Yeah, sorry, I have a bias.
Well, I think it's a good idea.
I thought you implied that elves might not take her because she's human.
I don't know. I think the elves need to figure a lot out, actually.
But yes, I mean, I do plan to take Daria out of here.
Yeah.
That being said, we have a lot of crap we need to sell.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
Shopping day?
Fencing day?
I don't think too much of it is recognizably stolen.
Well, if we need defense, we know someone very clearly who would be more than happy to buy and sell.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, let's unload some of our stuff.
We can go see Crystal then.
Yes. Yeah, we can hang out with Crystal.
Yeah, we're the ones that need to see Crystal.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, I guess I could
sure.
have asked maybe Ethar knew where Beatrice is staying. I guess I'll just go back to where she was staying before.
Yeah.
But we
Bed
can
and
go see Crystal
breakfast.
first. Yeah.
We do need to find lodging again.
I
just
guess
crash.
maybe
Right
a lot
before
of
we
people
part-
would be
Yeah, we
leaving, it
crashed at
sounds like,
Crystal's
so
last
that's
time.
nice.
Right before we part ways with Eastar, I'll ask him about ways to get word back out to Lakeside. I already forgot the name of that stupid
The town.
Because you never
Man.
actually asked for it.
Oh yeah.
And it was like 3 buildings, and that was it. So it wasn't really much of a town,
Right.
but it did have a
Well, so I'll ask him
Yeah.
initially. Are you aware of the small fishing village on the banks of the ruins of Meyerworth Folly?
I'm vaguely familiar with the area, yes.
Would it be possible to arrange to have some horses delivered there?
Or just maybe some supplies and aid in general.
And yes, amongst other things. Our mission caused some disturbances in that town.
Well, that was where we found entropy, so, you know.
Yes, the battle with entropy
That's where it went down.
took place there, and it is a humble fishing village who did not deserve the pain and destruction that was dealt to them. And unfortunately, as we had to
Pass through there.
commandeer some horses, we left payment for them, but we left the payment with the understanding that the horses would be returned when we were through as well.
Roll a persuasion check.
It's not great. 8.
That does sound like a predicament.
Just if you knew anybody in town who I could arrange to have these horses
Oh,
taken.
yes. There's a number of stables in town that you could speak with that you could hire a rider to return them.
Very well.
He gives you the name of a place nearby.
Thank you.
Ethar, you could have just told me it was not a trap.
I did not wish to dignify such a question. To doubt the valor and honor of this
it was a
place.
very rude question. We're sorry.
Why? It was just a question.
Yeah,
We all ask
yeah.
questions.
We're learning about questions.
We are learning about questions.
For an entire month, we have been learning about questions. Questions with Mr. Tiki.
600 years of
Every
life
day.
later, he's still learning the basics of questions.
I feel like I formulated the question correctly.
You
yes.
did.
You did
Very
the
well.
issue
then,
We'll
is-
talk more about it later. Oh,
Oh,
As,
sorry.
we're having this conversation as I just lead him away out the
wave.
door.
Yeah.
You see, especially when it comes to lords and kingdoms and tact is a thing. Are you aware of tact?
Roughly.
Same, very roughly aware of it. But certain questions, even though they come from an honest place, are not appropriate to ask.
Fancy people don't like it when you, like, question them,
question them.
okay? They're like, they think they have a lot of importance. They don't want you to doubt them. He,
And-
like, works for the Baron.
And especially in this situation, there was an agreement, and it is believed that the Baron is a noble and honorable person. To question that he would be putting us in a trap, which would be a very dishonorable thing.
I mean,
Even asking the question says you don't trust his honor.
I agree with you that it is not beyond the realm of possibility.
100%.
Politicians cannot be trusted,
They're
but you
definitely
cannot call
not.
them out to them to their face. They don't
that
like
way.
that.
And especially their trusted followers, as
That's
Eastar clearly
true.
was. Who no doubt he believes very firmly in his lord's honor.
Interesting. I will ponder this. I am new to the noble scene.
Aren't we
We'll
all?
have these annoying social things. you know.
speaking of the noble scene, I own no clothes that are not this leather armor and a cloak that can look nice, to be honest. But, Mr. Tiki, do you wear clothes? Does Mr. Tiki wear clothes? I never asked.
I don't.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Clothes?
Well, he
I
at
have
least
a-
has a
He has his
cloak.
cloak,
Yeah.
his patchy cloak.
Oh, his cloak of many...
But like when his cloak's open, is it just
Yeah, is
is
it
it
just metal?
just construct?
Yeah,
like-
it's just construct.
It's like a
Okay.
Kendall.
Alright. I
There's-
see you
is
don't...
there-
Ken doll. It's a Ken. Really? Really? Canaz? Wait! I thought we must dignify questions, and yet I was just asked about my genitalia.
I didn't get it. I said you were a cloak.
I mean, we've seen it for a while. We're just
Whoa, you've
clarifying
been
what
watching?
we've seen.
You've been looking at it?
I'm not using my Knaz voice right now. This is out of character.
Would I
Mr. Tiki
assume?
closes his cloak.
Maybe I would assume that Mr. Tiki is interested in fancy clothing, having never seen him wear, say, pants, for
I don't
example.
know. I mean,
I'm gonna
first
go
time for
buy some nice
everything. Don't you want to
clothing.
try
Yeah,
a
if
new
we're
experience?
Having
Absolutely.
dinner with the king.
He might like it if you bought him something nice. It could be a bonding experience.
Would
for
you like
two.
to? Well, are
May
you
I
cutting a
ask,
lot?
why
Let's go.
are you asking me about
No.
my clothing when we have a friend with just a badger?
Oh my god, I constantly forget that he's just wearing a
Aren't you
badger over his
cold?
dick. Like, I
Figured at a certain
constantly
point,
forget.
It just became the new
Let's be
norm.
honest, you block it out. It's an intense,
I never forgot.
subconscious mental block.
Aren't you cold when it was raining?
Yeah, that's why
I
he
mean,
made the hut,
that's
the
why he
temperature
lit
controlled
the
hut.
fire.
All right. Well, I'm going shopping for nicer clothing. So
I will join you.
we should hit a place on the way to Crystal's. You know, try on some clothing.
I mean, don't we need to sell stuff at Crystal's so then we have money for
Right,
extra
that's
fancy
I have
clothes?
plenty of money.
No, Mouseman's, not Crystal's.
Well,
Yeah.
Crystal and
Shoot from
Mouse
each
Pen,
other.
they all know each other.
They're like
They're-
right across
they're
the same
across
the street.
alleyway.
Yeah, they're also right across the street from each other.
Actually, I think they're just down from one another on the
Yeah.
same. I don't
Alley.
know. Maybe they're
Sure.
dead corner. I don't.
They are, it's true.
Sure,
Okay.
but
well,
we're not selling them at Crystal's.
Oh,
Right,
okay,
yes.
sure.
Right.
So we'll head that way. Those of us who need to go see Mouseman can go see Mouseman.
Those of us who need to see Crystal, see Crystal.
Cool.
Those with charisma will go see Mouseman. Those without will go see Crystal.
Who has charisma?
I don't know.
I have
I
a
think-
little, because
I think Adrian has it all.
I do.
Adrian has it all. I don't
Okay.
know what that dance was.
Adrian's got a massive plus.
I
Don't know.
got it. I got
Right.
it.
Don't know.
All right, who's going to go? So the two of you should go sell. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, yes.
Alette, do you want to go sell items or go see Crystal?
I want
I
mine.
don't even know what items we have
Yeah,
to
so
sell.
go with them then.
I know some things I have.
I
to
have
sell.
a
don't know
list
what you
here
have.
of the last encounter.
So Nat and I will go to see Crystal. What does Tiki and Sister do?
Tiki?
Trell.
Trell and
Daria
Daria.
would not be
Daria.
coming. Daria can go with you to see Crystal, or she can wait outside.
Daria doesn't want fancy clothing?
Dario wants fancy
Come
clothing.
with us, Daria.
Well, we got to sell our stuff first.
Yeah, they're gonna sell
and
stuff.
then
We'll
we'll
go
Yeah,
see
take.
Crystal,
yeah.
and we'll all go shopping.
Alright, okay.
So we have more money to buy her something even nicer.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Trell, where will we find you?
I will find a place at an inn and
Go see if there's
Like,
open
send a
spots
messenger.
for us at the bed and breakfast.
oh, it's
Yeah.
a good idea. Upgrade from that last place.
I don't.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, you were only there for one day. Imagine
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And then I decided to not be there anymore.
It was
Oh, that's
not
what
a
that
great
was.
place.
You decided not to be there anymore.
Yes, that's how I'm going to tell that story. And then he goes off to secure rooms.
So we each have, like, do we have like just one writ that's like, hey, let all these people come to dinner, or do
No.
we each have our own?
You are each
Like-
given an official invite. So you have a, Mr.
Okay.
Kanaz Tiefling is cordially invited to.
Andrus.
Okay.
Maybe he doesn't have a last name like me.
You maybe spent like 10 minutes with a scribe getting
Okay.
your names on there accurate and everything.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool.
Betty's bed and breakfast.
Yep.
I take notes sometimes.
When it's
Betty's bed
important.
and breakfast.
Yeah.
So we sell all of the stuff we have to sell.
Okay. 50
we-
gold worth of pink quartz. Will he buy that?
Yeah.
Mouseman?
Mouseman.
He'll buy 50
So you
gold
go,
worth of
yeah, you
pink
go to
quartz.
Mouseman and he's more than happy to
Buy
see
them.
you alive and
Really?
buy all of your things.
Didn't we
Nice.
like get in a fight with him before?
No, he saw us out.
Oh, I'm
he
thinking
led
about
us to the
Black Dagger.
top.
I'm thinking
You
about
think about Black Dagger, yeah.
I mean, Black Dagger and
Oh,
Mouseman
yeah,
work
Black
together.
Dagger, that's
Yeah,
right.
Black Dagger, we
But they're
kind
not
of
the
pissed
same
off, but
person.
he was kind of mob bossy chill with us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't piss him off that much.
No.
He still
No.
saw us out of the town.
He still,
Right.
he still helped
Yeah.
us escape.
It's nothing personal. Just business.
Just business.
I have a
Just gotta not mess
So
with
we
prostitutes.
So
left the plate
approximately,
armor.
how much money do we get from selling just fucking all the shit
50
we have?
gold
We
worth
got a
of
lot of
pink
stuff.
quartz.
Yep, 50 gold worth of pink quartz.
Fine silk robe with silver embroidery.
We
I
probably
think you
could
did
wear
with
that.
have
Well,
written
yeah.
down how
Does
much
somebody
it was,
want to
but I
wear that
didn't.
to the?
Does it have
I'll
any-
wear it. I'll wear it.
Actually, I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Let's just keep that. We're not selling that.
Okay.
He's gonna wear it as his
yeah, it's fancy
clothing.
clothing.
Gems. That was from the entropy, though.
Okay.
I assumed you had it written down.
I do. I'd have to look it up.
I have a flute.
You got
A
it.
dragon
Two
painting?
silver.
Did we take a dragon painting?
Knowing how he pays elves in this game.
Oh wait, no, I think that was from something else.
Yeah.
Well,
We
we have
left them
scrolls. Do we want to keep them
What?
or sell them?
Scrolls
What scrolls?
Counter spell,
I
Keep
have,
that one.
charm person,
I have,
useful.
sleep.
I have that.
You have the scroll or you have that spell?
I have all the scrolls.
Oh, okay. Well, still, I mean, I'm just saying, are we selling them or are we keeping them?
You can
We should
sell
probably keep
like
them.
All right.
There's some I want to
Sleep.
learn from.
Okay.
I
I
can
will
learn
ask
how to
Mouseman
cast sleep.
specifically if they have a blacksmith who could maybe make some modifications to a certain greatsword so that it is not as obvious that it is a Cuthbertian knight's greatsword.
He is happy to see that sword out of the hands of somebody who it belongs in.
Yeah.
Recommends a man who can do the metallurgy, but suggests that you need to visit a cleric of some other deity in order
Yeah.
to
And
rechristen it.
would you have any recommendations to some low-key Tritherian? Because I've been to the main church,
Yeah.
and they're not so eager to help people like me with things of this nature.
Not today.
Maybe
Maybe
not.
tomorrow their attitude will change.
Yeah,
Maybe with a new.
but
I
I,
don't think he
would
wants
like
to.
to take care of it before then.
I
You
also don't
talked
think
to what's his bucket, the old cranky guy that
What's
runs the
his-
place. No, you need to talk to
I had that. I mean, I don't know.
to
someone else.
Fronica. She's one of the lower priests that is a bit more
What was her name?
Fronica.
Veronica?
Fronica.
Yeah, with an F at the beginning.
Veronica with an F.
No.
Fron.
Yeah.
For-
Fronica.
Fronica.
Veronica.
Oh, like Frogard. Okay. Because that's also a word.
Fronica.
Thank you very much.
I had
She's
written
one of the
down-
lower priests, but should be able to. I work with her from time to time on things of more tiefling nature that perhaps she would be able to look in the correct direction.
Thank you very much.
I had written down. I don't know if someone else has it, that they have it in their inventory, but that we took a shard of the machine. I
Yeah,
don't know if you want to
Matt
take
has
it and like.
No, I
maybe-
have the shard of
The machine.
The machine.
radiance. Is
Right,
that
which
the
came from
same
the
thing?
machine.
Okay.
It
because
was
I have
the
the shard.
radiant machine, and you have a shard of radiance. That was all that was remained of it.
Okay.
I'll write it.
I have a
thank you.
flute that none of us knew how to play, so. I'm
Well, I
gonna
just
teach
didn't know if you
now.
want to take that to Crystal and like maybe she can
Yeah.
do identify.
I guess
on it or
technically yes
something.
already because she's with me.
I also
like,
wrote
heading to
down
crystals.
800 gold worth of jade shards came from the machine encounter.
Nice. Nice.
So
okay.
that's
try
at
to-
least 850
try to
in
hunt for
precious
those.
It's gold.
stones.
Oh, that's
I mean, I feel like you're doing pretty good.
Yes. Soon I could reincarnate somebody.
Oh.
For example, I don't know.
unfortunately, somebody didn't keep the body.
That would be.
They gave the body and the head. Only
I
the
mean,
head was
there's somebody
necessary.
else that I could
Well, we all
reincarnate.
decided to run straight there. and
They can be dead
yeah.
for 60 days.
60. I think
So-
10.
Do you have the gems
10
written down
10
from
days.
the entropy encounter?
I'm just weighing all our options. I'm
Besides.
just really itching to
Because I
reincarnate
have it
somebody.
separate.
Who else did he-
I don't know anyone we killed.
Well, we killed the.
Yeah, I
The
don't really want to
girl.
do it with the Inquisitors. They seem lame.
Yeah, but it's not like we've killed any innocent people. We're-
okay.
we're good
so
people.
Yeah, did anyone bad die? Did anyone
I
good
don't
die
know. Go
within
with them to the
last 10
temple
days?
and find out if someone died.
Did you just want to?
Oh yeah.
It,
Donate
it,
some
it costs
services?
$1,000
Oh,
though.
then.
1,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, because $1 is a silver piece.
Wow. Okay, it's pretty pricey.
So it's like $10,000.
Yeah, that's kind of like
Was
that's
that in like
an okay
today's
car.
economy or like 1900s economy?
Oh my god, too detailed, too expensive. If somebody pays me, I'll do it.
So what are we doing now? What are we waiting for?
Okay,
Well,
I was
so-
asking him
Yeah.
to look up the gems
How
that
much
we got
we-
from
Oh,
entropy.
yeah, I'm looking it up.
But if
Okay.
he doesn't find them, then 850 total at the very least.
Do we just have maybe a rough value that we can throw out that we got for like all of our things in general?
Who does
Since-
that? You have to write everything
A
down.
rough value.
Well, just since this is a
final,
finale,
finale,
so
Yeah,
I mean,
don't
why
have
are we
to
selling
get
anything
some,
at all?
Because it's still part of
right.
the
Well,
social
so that's
good.
why, like, maybe vast generalizations.
Yeah.
Where you sell all of the random things you've accumulated, it's worth
850.
15,000.
15,000? I don't think we're gonna get for
Well,
that.
1,500?
Certain amount,
1,500?
1,500.
Maybe.
No,
You only have to
it'd
think-
be like 1,000.
Okay,
Alright.
1,000 split 5 ways.
Cost
200
lot.
each.
I'll just say that's the rest of the gems.
I will.
Write it down.
Cool.
You get 200 gold.
I will consider.
What about? Okay,
Oh, Daria and Trell.
Ooh, I do have a shovel.
Didn't think about that.
I'll give half of mine to Drake.
I'll give 25 gold pieces to Trell.
For his new, or for her new outfit.
So once we finish the selling,
Okay, so you had 2 500 gold piece diamonds.
Yeah, I'm keeping those.
So that's
Oh.
okay.
Good for you.
All right, so
no, I'm
then
not
you-
selling those.
All right,
Those
so
are
going
useful.
back
Comes
into
out of
the-
your cut.
yeah, those are
So that chain
comes
armor.
out of your cut.
No, those are useful for casting spells.
Yeah. That's something that you have to take out of your budget.
Okay, so when you want to be resurrected,
He's gonna charge you for it.
I'm going to charge you for the diamond I use.
Was the diamond included in the 1,000
No,
gold?
No.
I did
Okay.
not sell. I didn't
Yeah,
even make
let him
mention
keep
of
the diamonds.
diamonds
Let
around
him-
mousemen. Okay.
Let him keep the diamonds. I'll let you may one day
Sweet mother of
You-
pearl.
live or
hear
die
a-
to not regret
a-
it.
A voice, a squeaky voice from behind the door that you just walked out of. Diamonds.
A diamond heart.
I mean, that's
that
1,000
Ellen has
gold worth.
because
I'm
she's
just
so
saying.
wonderful.
It's not
Is it bad
worth
or
Or
rather, her
Yeah.
demeanor is as hard as diamonds.
Oh, that's what it was. That was definitely what we were saying. The two characters with the highest charisma say.
Dear.
So
Probably not. Only 12.
once we're done with all of this stuff, I'll go see that blacksmith,
Mhm.
and then I'll go see Fronica.
Yep. So that takes you most of the day. The blacksmith, whose name is Mark.
Great.
Marcus?
With a Q.
Is
With an
he-
X.
Is
Ooh,
Mark
Marks.
the blacksmith? Is he like
Oh,
kind of a like in the smoke district, like low?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Is he a good blacksmith? Like I've been around weapons and armor. I feel like I have a pretty good idea.
Roll
if he's...
a just general intelligence check.
Nope. That's a four. That's a 4.
A 4-4.
You think that this is not a good idea. You should probably find somebody a bit more reputable. You know Mouseman recommended him, but this shop is a mess. Like, I don't know.
Well, I was more asking that question for something completely unrelated to the sword, but okay.
For whatever reason, you think that
Okay.
you
Yeah.
walk into this place and it doesn't look like he runs his shop straight, and that maybe this is more a front for something else, maybe. And it's just you just get a weird vibe.
Okay. Then I will leave.
With a 6? Well played.
I feel like it's because I'm getting the wrong, like, yeah, I rolled bad, so I'm getting a feeling that's not true.
Interesting.
But sure, I'll leave, and I'll head back to Crystal's, and I'll ask Crystal if she knows of any blacksmiths.
She recommends Mark.
God damn it. I trust her more than I trust Mouseman, so against my better judgment, I'll go back to Mark
Okay.
and see if Mark can remove those. But since I don't trust him that much, I have a bad feeling I won't ask him about the other thing I was going to ask about. That will stay in here.
Okay. He tells
Touches
you.
himself often.
Yeah, he's just always touching himself.
Maybe he's just casting like guidance or something.
Yeah.
He doesn't have guidance. That's me.
So he tells you for 20 gold he'll be able
Resistance?
to
I don't know.
modify it and reforge it in a way that is
Can you bless yourself?
less recognizable.
How long will that take?
Yeah, you can bless yourself.
For 25, I'll get it done by the end of the day.
All right. Then, while he's taking care of that, I will go back up to like. Was there nice, like, in Old Town? Did we notice like are there blacksmiths up there, like a nice for the wealthy?
Not like in town. Like the actual Old Town district is much
Mostly
more
residential.
residential now at this point. But there's
At some point, we've probably seen.
there are better parts of town that have
Okay.
more reputable businesses.
I will go to not the nicest blacksmith I've seen, but maybe like the third nicest blacksmith I've seen so far. I will show him that I have an invitation to the dinner.
Right.
And I will show him my scale mail.
Mhm.
And I would like it very nicely polished up. And then maybe if he's got some accoutrement to make it look like I have a nice suit of armor, so I'm not looking like a schlub
Yeah.
at the dinner.
He says that he would be more than happy to work on a piece that the Baron would see.
And I will be sure to mention to the Baron who did the work, should
Alright.
he or any of his, soldiers or knights ask about the very fancy armor.
He says it will be 50 gold pieces.
Was it explicitly said that this dinner tonight was formal? Like, it will be
It's a
bad if I
feast
don't
with a
wear fancy
baron.
clothes?
Yeah.
That's your next baron. Okay.
Sorry, I meant 5 gold pieces. Sorry.
Oh, 5.
Yeah. Again, the conversion in my head. Silver pieces are the dollar, not the gold.
$1,
Right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do find it confusing personally.
Anyway, I mean, it is, and he does specify 5 gold. Like other places, they might say 50 silver, but that's sort of the mark of nobility is that you are actually paying with actual gold.
Fair enough.
We have that.
Yep.
All right.
Alright.
We're seeing Crystal.
Great.
Cool. Crystal's excited to see you.
We're excited to see you as well, Crystal.
She tells you, Mr. Tiki, she's like, oh, I remembered what you said before you guys left, and I was working on a little design, and she pulls out some, like, a bunch of, like, blueprints and stuff, and you can see she's been sketching Omega 1, and she has some little mechanical pieces that she's been working on, and she says, I think that I can modify him so that his roar will release a burst of energy and knock people over if they're too close.
Ooh. I think this is a great idea. I think that your markings are fantastic and that we should do this immediately.
I think Mr. Tiki just got a new dent.
It's like fucking catnip for
she
Mr.
said that. She said that, and there's an audible. Boom.
So mechanically, your new alchemist recipe that you learned for this level can now also be cast from Omega 1 directly.
Nice. Awesome. Crystal, what are you doing tonight?
Hopefully finishing up this design. I'd love to be able to see this in action.
I agree. If you need to take a break, there is a feast tonight.
Oh, you know me, I never sleep.
I know. However, you need to eat. So if in that time you need to eat food, you can accompany me to the feast for food.
I would like that, she says. Like without even looking up from what she's doing.
Perfect. I will also like that.
Nat's just like, I'm so happy. I'm
And she like puts up a fist
This
and you
is
fist
great.
bump.
this is great. This is great.
I
I'm
will,
very sad Kanaz is missing this.
I'll tell him all about it later.
All about it.
we will do you have fine clothing? If not, I will purchase some for you. I believe that is.
Oh, fine. No, for the feast, I don't need anything fancy for a feast. I'm gonna get food on it anyway, I'm sure.
Yes, I also plan to get food on me, I suppose, as well. We will feast together. But I will bring you something just in case. You need a change of clothes after getting food on your current clothes.
whatever, yeah. And then she is already disassembling Omega 1.
Yes. I allow such things. Not that I had a choice.
After my armor's polished up, I'll go back and check on the sword, and whenever it's done, I'll take it to the church and try and take care of all of that before the feast. That's just what I'm doing, running around town like a crazy person.
So it takes you all day, basically, and you're able to get everything straightened out right on time, just to run up there and
meet back with
everybody
group.
right at the place.
We went and bought nicer clothes.
So this is easily the nicest I think any of you have ever seen me look.
Your black hair is like slicked back, right? Are your horns polished?
No, I'm
That's
not that
a thing.
fancy.
That's not a thing.
I think it's a thing.
My hair would be.
I'm pretty sure polishing your horns is a thing.
I mean, I touch myself a lot. I probably polished my horn.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Mistakes were made.
Season finale. Season finale.
We'll also go buy nice clothes. Ola and Nat and
you
Daria.
coming with us? Are you coming with me, Mr. Tiki? Come on, Alette. It'll be great. We have
Mr.
to.
Tiki's coming too?
Yeah, we have to help him buy something for Crystal
Right, okay.
that she'll actually wear.
Maybe Daria can help with that.
Great.
Because he did not note to tell her that this was a feast at the Baron's house with the Baron and all of the nobility. In which case she may have recognized the need for fancy clothing, but also may have declined to go.
Nat has this insight and remains silent.
Well, I don't know what you and Daria want, and I don't know what you plan to buy for Crystal, but I would probably also get like nice like armor, not like a dress or anything like that.
I wonder who in town practices the ancient art of leaf weaving. Beautiful robes, gowns, all woven with leaves.
It's not usually like a town thing, isn't it? It's like a
But you never know.
witch thing.
Hey,
No, though.
they don't prefer the name witches. Wood
What do they
Wiccans.
prefer? Oh, Wiccans? Okay. Thank you for educating me.
Yeah.
Wood Wiccans.
You can roll a I'm gonna go with straight intelligence check to
mean-
kind of search the town to see if there is a person here.
I will do
Can
that.
I aid?
You can aid, yeah. Roll with advantage.
I will try to find something as close to that as possible, at least.
Yeah.
I thought you could make
Roll
your
with
cloak look like
advantage.
anything. You
Oh,
could make
okay.
it look like, I don't know,
Well,
like
it's
a
just
king's
a
robe
cloak,
if you
of
wanted.
course. I need clothing. I can't just wear like a jacket.
I don't know, that's not
No,
what
it's
can't
true.
Tiki
I'll,
said.
I'll look for elegant clothing.
Okay.
He said
Wonderful.
it was a cloak.
I mean, but he like a Ken doll. I say that he cannot overhear me.
I wasn't
okay.
looking. You
Straight,
were looking.
Yeah, he's not even
straight
looking.
I
intelligence
don't know what a Ken doll
is
is.
21
No one does.
to find
I
a
do.
beautiful,
Yes, I know what a Ken doll is.
naturally woven / leaf
Do you mean
weaving
in D&D
clothing.
Tiki doesn't know what a candle is?
And
Correct.
with Darkasan, who's interested in similar.
Oh, I'm gonna get my hair put up in braids.
Pretty.
Heck yeah.
What about your badger?
Badger's coming along.
He's
Are
gonna
you
get
put-
oiled.
Add anything
Um,
else?
yeah.
Badger will
As,
be oiled.
as is the bag.
So
The
you find, you
junky
do
looking
in
bag.
fact locate a shop called Baravan's Fine Elven Finery,
Ooh, wonderful.
Nice.
run by an elf woman who makes. You can see in the window, all styles of dress and suits and everything, in the very noble and very extremely well done outfits, but you get the sense that maybe as an elf in this town that she might have some abilities outside of the normal human demand for clothing.
I will ask her. I will walk in with Darkasan next to me, so I don't look too out of nowhere tiefling asking for
Yeah.
I'll ask for something woven of leaves, made to suit, of course, for a dinner that I'll be going to. That is somewhat fancy, extremely fancy, the fanciest in town, unfortunately.
She's more than happy to put something together, and takes all of your measurements and begins weaving something together, and as it's a bit of a process and a rush job, of course,
course.
she demands 10 gold.
That is a fair price for this ancient craftsmanship that is hard to find in these cities, you know.
But she's very chatty about it, and talks about the ancient elvish art of leaf weaving, and describes. She says, the elves of the Feywild, specifically the Eladrin. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they have a version of this where they use metal to weave the leaves of brass and bronze together to form powerful magical items. In fact,
I did not know that. That's fascinating.
yes, some of the best armor around is bronze leaves weaved in the Feywild.
Is this very heavy to wear?
Oh no, of course not. It weighs as much as a leaf.
I guess I definitely need some of that later.
I'll try to get a robe made of the most sheer gossamer fabric.
So that you can still see the magic.
Oh yeah, she's like, I have some silkworms growing in the back that make the best,
All right.
and so she's.
And if it has a bit of a sparkle, all the better.
Ooh, yes, I'll go get the sparkly worms.
The sparkly worms. Good.
Do you have any jewelry?
Yeah.
Also 10 gold.
Who are you asking?
The shop.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're with them.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll
Oh, no, but she recommends a jeweler that's down the street that, want to go to this place and tell them that I sent you and all of that.
I will go to that place and let them know that I was sent by her.
Okay. And purchase jewelry.
Yes, I need a bracelet for a tiefling. Hand. Wrist.
I like go up to
Roll
Mr. T,
a
I'm like,
just charisma check.
Okay. Hey, all right.
14.
You have a negative charisma modifier?
Of course
Yeah.
he does.
Look at my
So do
he's
I.
played
Played it perfectly.
Of course he does. Of
He's
course he
role
does.
played his negative
Of course.
charisma for a year.
Yeah. The shopkeeper just kind of blinks at you and walks away.
Okay. Okay, Mr. T.
And then the shop hand, a tiefling youth who is just sort of helping in the back, sort of sidles over and says, I heard you were looking for some jewelry.
For a tiefling.
Yes.
Yes.
I wouldn't say that aloud, though.
For a person.
I agree. And then he shows
I agree.
Is there a customary jewelry piece that is something that would be more appreciated by a tief person?
Teeth person.
Most people have teeth.
If they're
Some
lucky to
people
keep
only
them.
have a
They're
tooth.
lucky,
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, he helps you find the appropriate thing. You're like, all right, this is perfect, and it costs you 5 gold.
All right.
Wow.
I appreciate your help.
So, Mr. Tiki.
Oh, by the way,
Oh, no.
you will be free tomorrow. Yes.
Oh,
Free for what?
free, it'll be free to open up shop. Move, Mr. Tiki.
Is it like a secret?
I'm not spreading it around. I'm assuming that there will be a big announcement and we shouldn't disrupt things.
There will be a big announcement. Don't be
Jesus,
disruptive.
Oled. Agent
Very
of
well.
Chaos.
Agent of-
So, Mr. Tiki,
Yes.
I think it's wonderful that you're buying something for Crystal. She may not have realized how fancy she needed to dress for an event like this. I think we should get her a little extra something.
Okay. Very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, maybe a nice dress.
Okay.
From a shop. And when we go into the shop, we'll be like, we would like a nice dress for a person. Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. Let's do it. Daria probably wants something, right, Daria? Yeah?
Yeah.
You want something? Great. We'll get something. We'll go to a dress shop.
Sounds good. Let us go to a dress shop.
All right, you do that,
We do that.
and are able to purchase fancy dresses.
I will relay
5
what
gold.
I
Of gold.
perceived
No,
to be
5
Crystal's
gold.
measurements,
Oh, 5 gold.
as I am very perceptive. and we'll get something in her size.
Okay, you do that.
Great.
You have successfully acquired clothing.
Is that extremely expensive? Is that medium?
5 gold each. Yeah.
I
Okay.
will go to the bed and breakfast to see if Beatrice is there.
Trell is.
Hey, Trell.
Oh, snap. Oh.
Did you see Beatrice?
Oh, is she that?
Does anyone say it? He just so snapped.
I didn't even catch that. Nice.
Just like the youths.
Just like the youths.
I don't understand. What's so funny.
He says, "Oh, you mean the woman that won the tournament?"
Going out on a high note.
Yeah, I guess she's staying here. There's all sorts of people fawning around trying to catch a glimpse of her.
Where?
And he gestures
Who?
at like all of the handsome young suitors that are like
Men?
men, right, waiting in the bar. Yep.
I ask one. Hey, have you seen Beatrice?
No, but I think she's gonna come down soon. I hope she's gonna come down soon.
Okay. I ask another one. Do you know what room? No, I'll ask the Inkit. What
Yeah.
room is Beatrice in?
Who are you? Why would I? I'm not going to tell you that.
Fine. Then
The
just
privacy of my clients is very important, especially the celebrities.
Then I just go upstairs. And I look for the room that she was in last time.
Okay, she's there.
Oh, okay.
She hasn't moved.
So
It's
is
only been like 3 days.
Insider knowledge.
I mean, she probably got comfortable in that room. It was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Were there? Oh, I should have asked Trell if there were rooms available for us.
Yeah, he got rooms for you guys.
Nice. Thanks, Trell. See, you're good for something.
Mostly paperwork.
Messengers.
Yeah, so Beatrice is there.
Mousengers.
Beatrice, would you allow me to be your escort tonight? I know you probably have a very important seat on the high dais or whatever they call it, but I could walk you in.
She agrees.
My friends will be there. We were victorious on our quest.
Oh, I was victorious too.
I
I'm the
know, I
champion.
heard.
She brags about it a lot. She tells you, like, she brings you into the room and like tells you all about the battle and how she, smashed Mayhem Magdalene's skull into the ground. And
Miss Mayhem Magdalene? That's killer.
I know.
Bummer. We'll
So,
have
yeah.
to
I
watch it
wondered
then.
how Magdalene did.
second
Wow.
place.
Did she die?
How did
Yeah,
how did,
because you smashed
how
the
did,
skull.
how did Christoph the Crusher do?
Not well.
Was he crushed?
He fell in the melee rounds before the single combat. A group of combatants ganged up against him to bring him down before,
Oh.
and then to make sure that they didn't have to face him in single combat. It was truly a move of cowardice. Whoever is telling you this would say.
Random
we're
person
like
in the street.
on the
Yeah,
street.
yeah.
What did the Crusher do?
Yeah.
Magdalene.
Wait, who won the
The Battle of the Bards?
Battle of
I
the
don't think
Bards.
anyone did. The
Oh,
Battle
yeah.
of the Bard.
Canceled it.
Yeah, it was canceled.
Yeah, it was
Canceled.
I
canceled.
feel like we won.
I feel like we ended it.
That's the same.
As we were all
As
running
we-
around town today, doing our various errands, did we hear any talk about the awesome performance
The
at the
incredible-
very end of the Battle of the Bards?
Yeah, the S01E23 troubadours.
You hear.
Did we hear about us by name?
I'd be interested in
Did
more
they know our
general
name?
gossip. Not,
Did
I don't
anyone
expect
say-
anything
Hope not.
about the
I hope not.
You understand that people are upset that they did not get to hear their favorite bards, like Blink Dog 182, performing their song "What's My Armor Class," or the Rolling Bones
Thanks.
and their song "I Can't Get No Resurrection."
I knew there were more of these.
Why did we ask?
I forgot
I don't know
until
why
this
you
very
asked.
moment.
It's really your
Why
own
did we
fault.
ask?
Should have known what you were asking for.
I can only imagine that this is like a 20-page list of bards.
Blink Dog
I mean-
182.
What else is the internet good for?
Yeah.
What's my armor class?
What's my
I'm gonna write all the words,
What's my
lyrics to
armor
that
class?
song as my character in the next campaign. You guys can all look forward to that.
Oh God. All right.
Well, I'm
Are we
disappointed to not have heard us mentioned by name in the throng of people. They should know.
And I am
Did we hear
subtly
any other
relieved.
gossip? How many days have we been gone? Like 5?
Like 2.
Like
Three.
three.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want to roll just a general, just a d20.
Just a general
3.
D20.
For
Gossip.
Yeah, you don't
Oh,
hear
I
any
do.
other
It's a good
interesting
thing none of
gossip.
these rolls
Can I
today have been
gossip?
important.
You can
Because we've been
gossip.
rolling like garbage.
just
A D20.
just a check. 15.
You hear that the infant son of Lord Wolfgang Herbig was
Kid we forgot
successfully recovered
Baby.
from a kidnapping attempt.
By who?
about. Do we know by who?
Whom?
Thanks
I don't
to
know
the daring,
Derringer?
no,
The Daring Derringer.
That was
Yeah.
funny though.
a daring quest by a pair of for-hire adventurers who wish to remain anonymous because I don't feel like looking up names for them.
Good enough.
At least
Baby
he's
saved.
okay.
I wasn't
Baby
worried about that.
saved.
Do they know who took the baby? Or what became of those who took the baby?
You hear some of the gossip is that it was a plot by the kingdom to the south, whose name escapes me.
Rumbular.
No,
That's
we're
where
in
you
Red
are.
Bar.
Oh, we're in
Wolfgang, or not Wolfgang. I don't remember.
It's been too long.
The main province, isn't it? Like the.
Yeah. Anyway.
Oswald.
Kingdom to the
Yeah,
south.
wherever the map is,
Oh.
I can. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Whoa. Bust that thing out.
Fancy map.
We could
It's
even
really cool. It's like all heavy.
I'll put it in front of my
The
face
Olafwang
on the
kingdom.
camera.
That it,
oil flang.
Olafwang. That it was
Oil flang.
a plot by them. Some say that it was a changeling situation, and that they shouldn't trust that baby.
Wow.
It's just a disaster.
Allison, you're cutting me off.
Killing
God, no
everything.
angles.
And some people are still convinced that
It's not even visible.
the Lord Herbig.
No, it's taking up all the
And the
cameras.
worst is
It's
you've like
just
consumed
everywhere now.
them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh
Disaster.
no. Disaster.
Oh no. Disaster.
And one person is still convinced that the whole affair was a hoax put on by
There's no top
Lord
right camera
Herbig
tonight.
in order to gain
there isn't.
popularity for his reality TV show.
Wait,
Oh my
what?
god.
What just happened while we were doing that math?
We were all distracted.
We're teleported to a
Slipped
different
in
game.
Yeah.
We're all
Hashtag
breaking
Balloon Boy.
anachronism.
Hashtag never forget.
Oh, I remember the Balloon Boy. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Where have we gone?
That,
What is
Where have we gone?
Locals only.
So
Yeah.
I take Crystal to the feast. I'm with Crystal. She's on my arm. We walk into the feast.
Are we going to the
I don't
So we all meet up
I mean-
before
Yeah.
the feast.
I
So
know,
you all
I'm
meet
just-
up before the feast.
For y'all gonna see
remember.
I
fancy
make my
knives.
clothes
I'm just trying to
match
bring it
my,
back
Blazer?
to
Right.
this game.
my robes of leaves. Ooh, can they be like fall colored?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, fall
It's I mean it's a summer
Yeah, I'm
festival.
like, it's
so-
Okay,
summer.
there's summer leaves. I have like a cloak to match.
That'd be a faux
them.
pas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you wear fall.
Dark
It
Sun?
would- it would be
Oh yeah, you
not
got
seasonal.
Yeah, mine's
sheer,
got some-
your sheer silk
No,
cloak.
no
Also some
fall leaves after
asymmetrical
Labor Day.
like twigs with,
Oh yeah.
flowers and whatnot. Gotta look fancy.
You have a sheer, like a gossamer robe and like a badger on your.
I still have my badger.
Situation.
on.
Is the badger holding the branch in its mouth?
No, the badger is literally the flap of the bag. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's like a.
it's like a dead head flap.
What bag?
It's like a fanny pack.
It's like a badger
That's
thing.
like your where you keep all your stuff.
Some
That's where I
of
keep
it.
some of my stuff. Yeah.
That's where he keeps his stuff.
I mean, that's what I thought its main purpose was, like a normal loincloth purpose.
No, it's not actually part of the loincloth. I have a loincloth.
What's it made of?
And I have a bag.
Why are we
with
just
a
discussing this
badger
now?
in
Yeah, I
in the
don't
last
know.
episode?
I don't know. I like
The
you guys
badger
always
is
equated it
weird.
as a like one thing. No, I have like a
It's like a
like a
utility
skirt.
kilt.
No, it's definitely not.
Oh,
a
I think
utility
it
kilt.
is. That's what it,
It might
sounds
be.
like.
it might be kiltest, but there are no gusseted pockets coming off the side.
Just one big one in the center.
Like those garish. No, it's not. It's a separate thing. It's like a belt. You can take it off separate.
It's like on a kilt, you know, they have a kilt, they have the fanny pack that's in the front. It's like
Yeah.
Right, but it's
Over the
just that
kilt.
without the kilt.
But there's like a loincloth. situation. In addition to the
Why
bad.
do they call that part of a kilt?
I don't know. I
Kilt-
don't know
I'll
enough
Google
about
it.
kilts.
Kilt box. Yep, we're gonna go with kilt box.
Kilt
It's my kilt box.
Don't
Anyway,
Google it. I knew
Alright.
it. It's kill box.
Don't
like
even look it up.
Kill
You
box?
got it.
all right.
Kilts.
So you all meet up that evening at the steps of the old city outside the plaza of the Temple of St. Cuthbert before heading up.
Yeah. Nat, I know a certain wood dryad who would love that dress.
Aw, do you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Kanaz. And I kind of fiddle with it.
She also might find it incredibly offensive, like trying to make clothing out of human skin.
Oh my god, shut up! I'm starting to get anxiety. I feel like
No,
my
there
thoughts,
was
my
no one who
intrusive
said that.
No
thoughts-
one actually said that.
Yeah, I just intrusive thoughts, you know?
By the old
And I
gods.
just
This is
fiddle
called
with
Right.
it.
No,
Spore
she
it.
would.
Fiddle with the leaves.
I see the look on your face. She would appreciate it.
Thanks, Kanaz.
It's called a sporon. That's
There you go.
That's what Darkasan carries.
Kilt box.
I think that's
what we
kill
said.
box in
Kilt box.
Scottish. So. Same.
You
It's
do.
specifically for pocketless kilts, so of course you don't have pockets.
Yeah.
He's like, I know this.
Like,
This is
still be
why.
a kilt,
This is
even
why
if it doesn't
utility
have
kilts are an
pockets.
abomination.
So
That's why?
Sorry, Wes.
as you are walking up the
Well,
steps to
cargo
the old
pants are
city,
as well, let's be honest.
you do notice, standing in the plaza outside of the cathedral for St. Cuthbert, two figures, almost unrecognizable in plain white linen clothes instead of the battle-worn and hardened armor that you're used to seeing them in. The Inquisitors, Christiana and Stefan
Nope.
Delmiro,
Peace out.
Nuh-uh.
Like, it's really them?
who stand and watch you climb the steps and give a solemn, respectful nod of disapproval.
Okay.
Are they
All right.
corporeal?
Are they corporeal? Yeah.
Yeah, before they turn and walk and go into the cathedral.
They're like solid human bodies.
Yeah.
They're not ghosts.
Yes, roll a perception check.
Okay.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a
really
two.
good.
Yeah, I think I want to try
Four-
that as well.
Yeah, I'm
24.
gonna get it on this one.
That's a 2.
I think you're right.
18.
Maybe we should have cut their heads off.
Who beat a 20?
Me.
A what?
I got a 20.
Okay, who beat a 15?
Me.
I did.
Okay, so those of you who beat a 15, yes, these are definitely real people standing in real flesh in real clothing. Those of you who beat a 20 realize that their hair is perhaps slightly different and their skin slightly, more new.
They've been like resurrected or something.
Perhaps, yes.
Something
Almost
like
certainly
that?
so.
That's our guess. So I was gonna try
Can-
to do with entropy.
But they just nod at us and leave.
Yeah.
That's probably not good.
Everything's gonna be fine.
You quell all of those doubts and head into the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's have some ale too.
Well, I know it's gonna be on
Wash-
Kanaz's mind for the next.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know,
stick
weeks?
real close to
have
Kanaz
ale.
at this party and swat his hand every time he reaches for a weapon.
yeah. I feel like somebody had to grab me and move me as I was
Yes, and feed you ale at the same time. Yes, I'm there for that.
So you mingle for a little while, and for what you can. A good number of the nobility does come up and talk to you and thank you for dealing with entropy and the terrorist scourge. But then there's some of the nobility that pointedly ignore you the whole time. But
I'm gonna do that behind their backs.
nice. Just rude gestures.
Stealth check.
At some point, though, a tiefling man wearing
Teeth person.
priest's robes, similar to Wolf's, approaches you, Nat, and he introduces himself as Father Hope.
Okay. Remind me what Hunter's robes? Hunter?
Wolf.
Wolf. What his robes looked like? Or
They-
what that church was about?
So it
Did we
was
know?
very similar to St. Cuthbert, but you notice that it's from afar you might mistake it for a priest of St. Cuthbert, but up close it's designed to be a symbol and attire that blends in with St. Cuthbert worshippers, but is distinctly not.
Okay.
And Wolf would have explained to you that he is a priest for Torgamith, the first of the tieflings and the Rydraki emperor
Got it.
from far before.
Okay.
So Hope introduces himself to you, and so he thanks you, and he thanks that, what does I say here? So I wrote this all down, and now I need to read it.
It's
That's all I
okay.
can
Nat's
tell
like
you.
a little tipsy. She's like having a good time. She's completely ignored the resurrected enemies that are
Yes.
here.
Except for when
Says-
she has to like realize the look on Kanaz's face and be like,
Yes.
Drink
more. Drink more.
So he tells you that if the rumors are to be believed, it is thanks to you and Torgamith's will, through you, that he shall soon be free, and that the tiefling peoples of this city shall be free. And he wanted to thank you for that personally. He was recently contacted by Wolf, who had mentioned to him he's happy that you survived. His discussion with Wolf via sending, there was some doubt whether or not you would return to the city alive or not. But he says, I confess I should not have had doubt. Wolf did mention that 2 Aasimar traveled with him, and that I could not believe such a thing until I saw you today here. He stammers these words.
Awesome.
Oh, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. You probably aren't familiar with the term. In the books of the Protector, Torgamuth writes that he was trying to better tiefling kind, that he strove to rise up from among us what he called his Aasimar, to fight for us once he was no longer able, to guide us and protect us and to lead us in his absence. With my newfound freedom, I wish to lead a pilgrimage to the east to the remnants of the Rydraki Empire and take tieflings with me there. If that is true, that perhaps you could find more about this matter. If you wished to come on this pilgrimage with me,
Torgamith was like,
to guide us and to protect us as Torgamith's chosen would do.
he was bald, right? And he was blue. He was like blue-skinned man.
Yes.
You know, I've seen him in my dreams. Is
And
that-
he just like takes a step back and goes, and like almost like bows to you.
Okay,
You
that is
see-
weird. I thought
you
that
see
might be
pee
weird, and
appear
it
on
is
his
weird.
leg.
Yeah, I mean, he talked to me a lot, actually. He talked a lot about hubris and his children. Me as his child. I don't know. Yeah. Where are you going?
To the far east, to the remnants of the Rydraki Empire, to our homelands.
I didn't even know there was really such a place. But, yeah, I mean, let's talk about it.
And he is excited to have you along, should you choose to guide and protect his pilgrims.
I say nothing to anyone about it, and pretend it never happened to all of you until later, as is Nat's way. But I'm distracted the rest of the night.
Eventually, the feast begins, the food is brought out, and the Baron stands and clinks his glass and gives a speech. He says, "We are here today to celebrate champions, specifically Ms. Beatrice Hartzman." He indicates her, who has toiled through the trials of this tournament, suffered near defeats at every turn, but persevered to come out on top. It is that kind of fighting spirit that makes Gofnerfurt and all who reside within these lands some of the best people in all of the realm. Congratulations to Miss Hertzman and to her success. And
To
he-
Beatrice!
There's a roar and a cheer, and everybody clanks. Clank.
Thank you. I was trying to, but nobody else wanted to.
Splish splash.
But we are here also to celebrate each and every one of you here at the feast and those out in the town celebrating on their own and together, those elsewhere in the countryside, though they may not have won this tournament, toil on, they still do, through the trials and tribulations of everyday life, day in and day out, despite the threats of violence at our borders and unrest from within. It is you, the common man, who makes this city what it is. Thanks to the great efforts of this small party that sits with me here, he indicates the probably not small party, the 10 of you now. Much of that unrest has been faced down, fought head-on, and triumphed against. It is my great pleasure to announce that the terrorist scourge of the Tiefling Liberation Army has been wiped clean from these lands. And a great cheer erupts in the room, and everybody's like, ooh, yeah!
What was that?
That's like the crowd.
That's like a boo
Sounds
sound.
like a
though.
hiss.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty sure nobles don't do that, but
All right.
Just,
Yeah.
And who was it that stood up to these violent extremists, but members of their own race? A partnership of humans and tieflings, who learned that to overcome
others.
their own trials, they must work together, side by side as equals. Let us give a big round of applause for this group of champions. And the crowd is like,
I'm sorry. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I know.
What?
Because we don't have a name. It's just like this group of people.
We have a name. No one uses it.
And they like, the room sort of like applauds, but they're like, we just applauded for that. Where is he going with
Yeah,
this?
who are these people?
And so, in the spirit of this group of champions who has shown me how working together we are better than the sum of our parts, in the spirit of this tournament, in which any among you, human or tiefling or any other race, can compete and expect a fair trial to face, I do declare today that all tieflings within this city shall be free to labor faithfully for reasonable wages, to join and be received into my armed services to defend this city from the threats of foreign invasion and domestic unrest. And then sort of like a shocked murmur rustles through the crowd.
Yeah! It's just us who are the only ones that cheer.
For too long, he continues, we have remarked on the loud and powerful violences of war and terrorism from without, but allowed the silent violence of oppression to fester within us and rot our souls the same as the tieflings' ancestors did theirs. We can be better, we must be better, and we will be better. In the coming days, I will appoint a special envoy to the king in order to argue before him to release all tieflings in the realm from bondage. I will also be creating, for those willing to volunteer, a special battalion of soldiers, of all tiefling soldiers, to join the front and show our enemies that when we give all among us a chance, that the weak will grow stronger, the ignorant wiser, and all of us will be better and happier together. And everybody's like, yeah, okay, I can get behind this. And they all cheer, and
Long live the
Drink.
Baron!
yay!
Wow.
Yeah.
I only cribbed heavily from Abraham Lincoln.
slightly.
It's an homage, really.
You're right, yeah.
Well, it's from a different universe. So.
Yeah.
Doesn't
True,
count.
true,
You can't,
true.
Nobody
can't
in
force
this universe
copyrights
knows.
across the plains.
Especially also because all of his speeches are public domain.
Also, yes.
Well, that helps.
Uh,
So yeah, so Nat sits back. She's like pretty drunk now. Kanaz hopefully is even drunker. She's been trying.
so, shockingly not.
Okay. I kind of pat your arm, and I'm like, so what? What are you gonna do? What?
There's a lot, I don't know, a lot to be done.
Yeah, it sounds like he's gonna go try to convince the king.
Well, I'm certainly not one for convincing kings.
I don't know. I think you sell yourself short.
Are we all there, or are you two talking?
No, we're all at the table.
Yeah, we're all at the table having fun. It's whether or not you are overhearing this conversation or not. Or
it's
having
like
your own
a side
conversation.
conversation.
Yeah.
You should think about it.
You
Well.
are good at convincing. You helped convince the Baron.
That's true. You did.
There's also, we'd be starting a group of all tiefling soldiers to go fight. They'll need leaders.
Yeah, you'd be great at that.
What are you doing, Nat? I saw you have a conversation with someone, I couldn't hear what was said, but I feel like it was an important conversation for you.
Yeah, it was this guy named Hope. He talked about Torgamouth and going east. And I think there's something there for me. I didn't have that dream by mistake, you know. But part of me wants to go back to Manchester. I don't know, maybe I'll always find myself back there. I'm tired of this politics stuff, you know. I just want to disappear into the woods again.
Well, like I said, there is a dryad who would love to see that dress.
Yeah, maybe I'll hook up with Father Hope a little bit later.
You know, I come from the east.
We never really talked about your, I don't know, early
I know.
life. Not that I didn't try to get out of you.
If you go all the way to the east, I would be at least somewhat interested in returning to my homelands. Depending on when that is and what's going on here and things of that nature.
Yeah, maybe there's something there for us. I can't
Like-
stop wandering now, right?
True.
East like the magic schools?
I don't think that kind of east.
Oh.
Southeast.
But you know, I think Daria's got an interesting future. She's pretty receptive to my rules of magic, if I do say so myself.
Don't horse for yourself is a great rule.
Right?
Only horse.
Only horse for yourself.
Only horse for yourself. Everyone's different. The rules they're pretty solid, actually. What are you gonna do, Oleg?
I like rule 5. Kill this bitch. was that rule
That was
4?
rule 4.
Rule 4. Kill this bitch. Kill
yeah.
that bitch.
Kill that bitch.
That one
bitch.
specifically. It's a very specific rule,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it has the one application. But
Yeah.
you know,
Natural rules of magic. They're actually written down in my notebook.
That rule I think is back in effect now. actually.
Might be.
it may in fact be.
Oh no.
It's everyone's different. That's number 1. Number 2, horse only for yourself. I guess that also goes for horses. We decided more is better, and kill that bitch, which I really think encompasses all the 4 major ideas behind magic. I don't know. You're not magical.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of those could be applied outside of magic.
Maybe there are Nat's rules for not dying in combat. I don't know, something. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Tiki, Darkasan, you guys have been working together towards this goal for a long time.
I mean, it does feel quite nice.
This is a major step in that direction.
Indeed.
What are your future plans? Where are you headed?
I mean, it's nice to see this improvement for this area. It could be broadened, and I feel then that would help me learn more about how I could convince Elvenkind to see more along the same lines. But I don't know, that might be some 200 years from now, so...
You have that kind of time. Tiki,
Yeah.
Yes.
what about you?
Well, I think it is nice that we have begun to turn the tide of the suppression of tieflings. However, I think it is time for me to turn my attention to other needs.
He does have a growing list.
I feel
Like what?
that it is time for me to rejoin my children.
What children?
Yeah, what? Wait, what?
Yes, all
You don't mean the gnomes.
no. Though I will revisit them again when it is safer, and it will only become safer once I gather my children.
Do you mean other Warforged?
That is correct.
Do you know where they are?
I don't know where they all are, I assume, just as a few may not know where all tieflings are, but nonetheless. Sorry.
We
But-
don't, yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have not stopped, that has not stopped you from making the attempt to free all tieflings.
Very well.
So then I will do the same. I will free all of my Warforged children from either servitude or slavery or whatever other condition they may be in.
You would know that it's very rare to find those of your kind this far west. That typically, if you do, they're employed as guards or soldiers for rich nobles, but that the majority of Warforged are still soldiers in armies in the east.
Mm-hmm. So I will be headed to the east to convince my children that they should not fight for armies that are not for their own race. They should band together and free themselves.
You're a good person, Mr. Tiki.
I learned to be good from people like you.
Well, you had a couple 100 years at it, so don't sell yourself short.
You are correct.
Going east, huh?
So you guys are going like here.
I might go east.
I would ask Beatrice if there was a nice magic school in her hometown.
Oh no, we don't do magic around here.
At all?
It's witchcraft. It's terrible things.
I disagree.
No, magic is dangerous unless you are trained by the church to control it.
I
Wow.
reach across
My
the
girlfriend's a
table.
racist. Terrible revelation.
Terrible revelation.
Now it's not a
I
good
reach
time
across
now.
the table, I take her drink glass, I smash it on the table, and then I mend it and give it back to her. And I go, that's not all bad.
She's like
Freaked out by
shocked and confused.
Our talents are dangerous as well. We were not trained by the church. We are trusted to you wield them.
It's true, I wouldn't want to meet Alette in single
Honorably.
combat.
Har, har, har.
Yeah.
Yes, but the physical arts are something that all people can understand. Once you begin to think too hard about things that should not be thought about, that's dangerous.
You think too hard? You ever have that problem?
Oh no, I don't think at all.
Yeah.
Hard thinking.
It's okay, you'll get through to her.
One way or another.
Mr. T knows what's up.
Crystal,
Yes.
I have many children.
Yes, I heard you talking about that.
Minus
On
one.
our first date.
Minus one.
I'm going to tell you I have 10,000 children.
How fascinating. She says.
Negative one charisma. I am going to liberate my children. They are warforged, such as myself. If we were to survive in this world, liberated, we will need to be enhanced.
Enhanced, you say? And she
Yes.
does one of these chin stroke things that if you're not watching on the stream and listening can now
Also,
hear me
women
describe.
don't usually do that.
Yeah,
'cause they
women
have
don't usually
beards.
stroke
Just
I
their
don't
goatees.
care.
I don't care.
Just-
She does
Crystal
it.
does.
Imagine
Yeah, she does
tieflings
it.
sometimes
Can I
have
just do like
horny
this?
little projections.
They do something else.
Whatever the standard thinking motion is
A little
for a
bit of-
Hmm. tiefling woman, she does
Yes.
that.
Yeah, pull on your ear for no reason.
Obviously, she strokes her horns. Why is this so difficult? Let me think about it.
Do you really have to do the little twists?
Yeah,
at the
that's
end?
the essential part of it.
Yes, so I believe that what you have done
I always
for
assumed she had like.
Omega, you also might be able to do for my children.
Maybe we should just scooch this one.
I would be honored at the
Like-
opportunity to attempt such a task.
I believe you are more than
She's got
qualified
long straight hair.
to make the attempt.
She's real.
I have seen your formula. Your intellect is
Horns that go straight.
beautiful.
She's got the
Oh,
nerd glasses.
Mr.
She's-
Tiki's got the moves.
Says nothing.
I still think it worked out for him.
Maybe a little more curved.
Maybe.
Very well. Perhaps I will let you know when we are leaving, and you might accompany us. It will be a new adventure for you. And
Your girlfriend didn't turn out to be a racist.
Nat does an insight check to see how into it Crystal is. and got a 21.
She's into it.
I like double thumbs up Tiki from like low on the table.
She is equally as socially awkward as he is. That's the problem.
The real matchmaker.
Are we
was-
sitting like across like a table, or are we all sitting like in a line?
Yeah, you're all kind of sitting in a line. Yeah.
Okay.
And she's at the end, I'm on the other end. So yeah, you're gonna come.
She's your +1. She
I
was
just
sitting
want I
next
just
to
wanted
you.
to shout my love for you across the table for only you to hear. Nobody else listen.
No, she's your +1. She was
Yeah,
by
she
you.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
The
by you.
real-
She was your
The
+1.
real match he made was his own.
Yeah.
The friends we made along the way.
It was only the journey. I don't know, I guess.
And then Crystal pulls a little vial out of her pocket and says, "Now let's get this party started."
Whoa!
Yeah, that's
Say
into
yes.
it. Let's do it.
Knaus pulls out that little like super strong liquor vial from before,
Yep.
and then like
This place is gonna get
whichever I don't know
Yeah.
which way Alette is, but he like either reaches around or like 3 down and
Thank you. Good friend. What are you doing?
Giving it to the silhouette.
Oh, that's right. So I'd have to come.
You have to reach down.
Yeah.
I'll I'll find you. I can see the camera.
There we go.
Yeah,
You
he
got it.
doesn't have the delay. Lucky him.
So-
We were pretty close.
So then you party into the night and celebrate. You can hear that the word has kind of spread out of the main feast hall to the celebrations going on in the Upper Kingdom and to the celebrations going on in the main, or not the Upper City, into the main city, and like everybody's having a great time and celebrating their freedoms.
Nice.
Woohoo!
And there's fireworks.
No permits even. It's good.
No.
That's freedom.
So, and then I guess that concludes Esthanar Dawn.
Now
Alright.
we get to do Esthanar midday.
Yep. Esthanar noon. Esthanar luncheon.
Don't forget 11Z's.
11Z's. Yep.
Yeah.
Tea time.
Yep. So
So what do we all do? Like we talked about it, but
yeah. So why don't you just go? Y'all gave a little bit of a preview of what you were thinking. So why don't you go around and actually discuss what the plans are for the team?
I mean,
Or
if we all
if the
kind of
team
want to
wants
go
to
east,
split
then
or
we could
what,
go
yeah.
as far as we can together before we split, don't you think?
yeah.
Well,
What? Yeah. Just
think
kind
we're-
of what does the next month look like
I
for this
I
team?
would have inquired because we were set to speak with the Baron more after this about what the future was. You know, he expected war, he expected conflict. He announced the Tiefling,
Yeah.
army, and had it shown interest in getting the group to work with him.
Yeah.
So what would that have entailed the following morning?
Whatever you want it to. I mean, at this point, this is
Okay.
yeah. We're doing prologues. You make your own story now. This is out of my hands.
I think we should travel east together. I mean, whoever wants to go until you guys split south.
Yeah. Are you staying to fight in the war? Then he won't come east with us if he's fighting in the war.
Yeah,
Well, I don't know. It would have depended. Like talking tonight. If she was going all the way east, I probably would have traveled east, still staying with my friend. If you were going to spend time in Manchester, relaxing and running in the woods, maybe I would stay and fight.
I think that Nat wants to go east, and she wants to learn about who she is and what being an Aasimar is and who Torgamith was. But she definitely goes back to Manchester first, checks in with Meliada, and the farmers she enriched the land for, right? Her friends. But yeah, I think in a few months she does catch up with Father Hope in the east, at least for a little bit, to find out what being an Aasimar really is and help those people. But yeah, I think that's kind of where Nat's going. I don't know. She would like invite Kanash. She would be
Yeah.
come with me. I know it's a little different, but if you stay and you fight, I understand.
No, I think Kanaz would take. You would take his friend's encouragement and actually maybe go along as part of the emissary to the king to plead the case there. And then once he was done with that, meet Nat in Mancaster, because he's been, Mancaster's been a huge part of his life for a long time. See people there, and then head east with her to more confront some of the things from his past that didn't really come up at all this season, because he is from the east originally.
Yeah.
I think Darkasan would start traveling with you guys, but the moment he found like a means to get to the Feywild, he'd leave.
You wouldn't have to get too far towards Mancaster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we know where it gets thin around Mancaster.
Yeah. Would we say goodbye to you then?
No, he'd leave in the night. He'd let Tiki know. You'd wake up the next day and not see him.
We never.
I think it'd be better if we were like walking and then you just like faded into
I kind of like that too, but I feel like he's learned that he needs to make mention.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tiki coming all the way to the east.
So, assuming Crystal really is into it, I will take Crystal up to the gnome village one last time to meet Grandma Ellie, and I will leave Omega 1 there, and I would command him to protect the village.
Nice.
And then I will head east to begin the quest of liberating my children.
how far is the gnome village?
It's
pretty
a
far.
gnome area. It's like, yeah.
It's to the north a ways. but-
Caladris?
Yeah, Caladris.
Yeah, so I'll probably leave you guys
That's about
before
as
you
far
go to
east as
Manchester.
Darkstone's been.
I mean, what would be considered
Caster.
the are the magic centers mostly like the Arcana
Essentially
lands,
in the
right?
Arcana lands, yeah. Deruminor is the kingdom that is basically ruled
And
by all of the most powerful mages in the
Ursivioth?
world.
Or
Ursivioth is the wait, which one? You're looking
I don't know,
way
this
up
is
north.
like the biggest.
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
that's the capital where the premier academy of magic in all the lands is.
What would be like the normal route to get there? Because it's not really.
Yeah, it's not really. You would probably
There's no really-
you would probably take a ship.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
You would head
That's
head
on the
to
river.
land, take a ship around the peninsula up into the
Or,
to the
like
Gulf.
all the way down here,
No,
like right here,
yeah, to there, and
go
then
in.
catch a land route from the end of the.
That sounds fun. You guys want to do that?
Are you gonna take your sister to a magic
Oh,
academy?
those places
I
are so
mean-
weird.
If that's what she wants to do. Because I assume she does, because I decided.
That's right.
There you go.
Is Beatrice with you?
No, she's racist. She can go home.
Ditching your girlfriend because she doesn't like magic.
I appreciate your principled
Yeah.
stand.
Not
a good
even
ally.
racist, classist.
yeah. yeah.
But
What does Trell do? I guess he.
Hope also talked to Trell because he knew that there were two of you, and Trell would go with. He would be tempted by the idea of going with the Pilgrims, but he feels his duty is to stay here and keep fighting this fight. So he would go with Kanaz first as an envoy to the king, and then probably keep working diplomatically as the special envoy to the Baron, going to the other baronies and doing more diplomatic core things in this region.
That's cool. Yeah, I feel like Nat would maybe take a level in like Warlock or
Nice.
like Torgrimmon. Right?
I could totally see that
Yeah.
down the line.
Like I don't. She doesn't feel it conflicts with her druidic nature.
Would that make
At
sense
all.
for a warlock patron? Because
Yeah.
he's like a god, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you could go with cleric or paladin also, but
True.
you could make it work with warlock. Because that's part of his thing is he's not really powerful enough to truly be a god yet.
Yeah.
He has worshippers and he's working on it, but that's what he said to you in the dream was that his powers are still so tied to you as much as your powers are to him.
Yeah. I feel like Warlock fits more because Nat is like really anti-establishment when it comes to magic. Like she's not gonna be a cleric in
Yeah.
a way. It's gonna make a personal kind of thing.
So yeah, that wraps it all. That gets you the idea where we're going, where everybody's headed
head
in
east.
the future.
At ease.
The sun sets behind us.
Although not together, some of us.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, because you didn't come with us. You had left somewhere outside
He
Manchester.
disappeared.
I
would
don't
you-
know,
you wouldn't
I don't
even
know if
come.
I would have left.
I wouldn't
outside
even gone to Manchester. I wouldn't even went to Manchester.
So you might not have even
Because I'm
went.
not the
Would you have
way.
went with us, or would you have went with Tiki before you left for?
Probably would have moved more with Tiki.
Yeah.
however
Yeah,
around,
if he was
you know.
going north, I mean.
Yeah.
But
And
then
the
I
light,
would just-
which way did you go? You were pointing on the map, but it was facing away from me, so I didn't see.
Oh, well, to go east, I guess Wesley suggested like a more practical way would be to go by boat. So I don't know if you guys would want to do that. If that wouldn't make as much sense if you wanted to stop in
Manchester. So we
Lancaster,
all
but,
part ways here.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was a solid month-long
Mm-hmm.
Camaraderie.
camaraderie.
New friends.
The group came together
A
and
lot of pizza.
That's
Went
true.
back
Unless
apart.
Daria wants to come back to Navasa, and then we can just party. She doesn't want to go to school. She can light more people on fire there.
She'd be down.
Oh.
What?
She'd be down. She doesn't need formal education. She can figure out her magic
true.
herself.
You
Yeah.
need
Pretty
no
good.
education.
So well.
I-
You
Transporting
need
us through
no
planes.
I definitely would have given
no
her a little bit of like,
education.
hey, yeah, like you can totally figure it out on your own. You might turn into a sheep and wander around an awkward like bunch of stones for a little bit on an island, but you'll be all right.
I'm like surprised no one was like, don't listen to Nat. She's crazy and she's just making this shit up.
Okay, none of your rules were that crazy.
Everything's made
it's
up.
true.
I also would at some point before leaving town would have went and talked to the noble guy whose name I'm drawing a blank on right now, whose baby got
Wolf,
kidnapped.
Snarf.
Wolfgang
It'll be a good.
Ederbig. In tiefling form. Because he only ever saw me in
This
human
is correct.
form. And so I would have went to him in tiefling form to thank him for his help before and let him see and find out whether he's, one of the racist assholes or if he's one of the
Are
nobles
new
who supports.
progressives.
No, he's a supporter and he's excited. And he's like, I knew there was something different about you when I saw you before.
Some of that non-divine magics
Yeah.
that I have.
It's very, very fascinating stuff, the arcane realms.
I hope that sometime this part of the world can embrace that as they've embraced integrating, all of their different races into a unifying strength.
I should hope.
And I'm glad you got your baby back.
Yes, and he goes into this long rambling story about how that curse that you had on you, that eyeball must have cursed you, and it cursed me, and so then my baby was stolen, and I had to hire these ruffians from the
At
north
some point,
to come.
just That's how curses work.
But it's obvious he doesn't blame you. He's just
Right.
magic is wacky.
I was a sheep once for
Yeah.
an hour-ish. Maybe not even 10 minutes. Magic's weird.
Yeah.
Best of luck studying it. I've got to go see a man about a horse. And then I go see a man about sending those horses back to the...
There you go. Yeah,
And send the
bring it
horses
back.
back.
Nat definitely keeps Horse Disteroth. Rides him all the way to
Yeah.
Manchester.
I keep Abby.
Oh, you have to, of course. You manifested her from your clothes.
We're gonna separate
You're
her
basically
from
also
Blackfeet?
her dad,
Yeah.
so.
The answer is yes. They were just horses.
Is she pregnant?
No.
Tiki's new life as a horse breeder.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
So
it's fun.
thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for playing, you guys.
Thanks for
Thank
running
you,
it.
Wesley,
Yeah.
for
For
DMing an
letting us
entire
experience your
year.
world.
Yeah.
Yay, Wesley.
Yay, Wesley.
So we
is
will
great.
be back
In 2 weeks.
2 weeks
Yep.
doing some interim stuff as we set up for the next
Oh,
season.
there are things.
Yep, we're gonna do a series of one-shots here to get us out of October or through October, and then in November we're going to shift our recording schedule. Basically, there will be 1 week where we do 2 in a row. and then we'll keep doing every other. That will let us miss Thanksgiving and miss Christmas without taking time off. And Leander is going to be our next DM.
Whoa.
All right.
And that campaign will do character creation in December, and
Oh, are we
will.
gonna do a stream for it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll do a character creation, like scene setting, kind of episode 0, stream in December, and then in January we're gonna start, and we're gonna start trying to do just calendar year for our year of each season. But yeah, so we're looking forward to all of that. In the interim, Bob's gonna do a one-shot Blades in the Dark.
Nice. Is that a D10 system? What is it?
D6.
D6?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That was sent to us by one of the Mile High Game Guys fans, Taylor, on our Slack channel. She
Nice.
sent that to us because she thought we
Thanks,
would like
Taylor.
it. Yeah. Clue, you're gonna do a Fiasco.
I'm gonna do
somewhere in there.
Fiasco. Fiasco's Fiasco. It might be.
Fiasco.
Fiasco is
Yeah,
like
see?
very light on the rolling D6 system, very heavy on the RP, kind of like in 2 acts like a play.
Mhm.
And it's sort of modeled after like farcical heist movies. Like, you know, kind of like 90s style bank robbery, everything goes bad movies, and there's different themes, but you don't have to prepare at all. So come unprepared. You do your characters in the story as the beginning of the game.
Nice.
It takes
I
about
think
3 hours.
Fiasco's
I'm
coming up
excited.
in
Yeah.
2 weeks, right?
We're gonna bang out final schedules here in a second and really lock that down, and then we'll announce all that. And then somewhere in that, I will be doing a on-camera Dread. So those of you who come from Mile High Game Guys, I've done 2 Dread episodes with Bob and Wes. We'll be doing a Dread episode here with the cameras, so you'll be able to see as the Jenga tower gets more and more rickety, leading up to someone's inevitable death.
Cool.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. The next few months of one shots leading up to next year's new season. So, thanks everybody for joining us. We're excited to be doing Twitch and streaming. Get to see all our beautiful faces.
Thanks for the biddies.
And me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you see like all of our beautiful faces and us. Yeah. Thanks for the bits. Those of you who cheers bits, and yeah. Thanks again, Wes, for letting us experience your world. It's been a lot of fun.
Wesley!
Wesley!
Wesley! S01E23!
Out.
Bye. All right. Recording stopped, but stream is still live. Guys.
Hi, stream still
Hello,
alive.
stream.
That
Thanks
was
for hanging out
really
with us,
fun.
stream.
Yeah.
People.
So May had mentioned earlier.
Yes, we are
where did
dropping
she
it.
say?
Yep.
It's fired!
Out.
No, just for Fiasco.
New season, new face.
Yeah, May had said, "Aw, thanks all of you. Can't believe it's been a year."
I know.
I know, right? It was
Me
a
neither.
very,
I planned
very
this
fast
thing
year.
to be 1 year, and we got through like half of it in 1 year.
On one of the other streams, I wore
I
a
know
button
exactly.
down with
Oh,
a V-neck. It wasn't even a
see,
deep
yeah.
V. It was like
Little
this.
decollage.
It was like
What's
this
happening?
V.
What happened?
I wore a V shirt on one of the live streams. I wore a button down
I'm gonna
that was
wear a
kind of
V
open, and I had a V
next one.
T-shirt underneath.
Wait, did
And it
somebody
really-
really buy us white clothes?
No.
So yes,
really
so the Tulios 195 there in the chat, Ofer, he started funding. He would send money to Zach to buy White Claw for me to drink on streams, and then Zach moved on to
indirect funding.
the Wild Basins, which are the
But don't let the
Oscar
IRS
Blues
know. I'm
ones.
pretty sure that's totally illegal.
So you were saying the shirt, you basically you had a nip slip.
apparently some people felt like that it was approaching areolas. I don't know.
Some people would say that. I don't know who Maku
Yeah, who's
is.
looking?
Fucking
Who's looking?
Don't follow Matku. Just don't bother.
Yeah, he plays with
It
his
really
shirt off
depends
all
how
the
big
time.
the
Stream
areolas are.
anyway.
Like, are we
Dinner
talking
plates.
like- dinner plates. We're talking dinner plates? Yeah, you were in danger zone. You were in the danger zone. Keep that in check. You next for you.
If you have that crazy of a triangle on your cut,
Right,
I'm
that's a pretty
really
intense
wondering.
cut.
Like,
I'm really
Like,
wondering
or you
what
have high
kind of
nipples.
cut.
what V are you?
And what kind of
No, no,
nipples?
no, no.
And
That's
what
not how
kind
No,
of
no,
nipples?
no.
Let's
Never
go.
in the history.
Maybe it's
High
an
nipples
inverted-
is not a
it's an
thing.
inverted
That's not
V.
like, oh,
Maybe
I
it's
have
like a Canadian
short legs for
you
my
know,
height.
maple leaf.
Or like, whoa, my fingers are weirdly long. No one has high nipples. There are no variation in nipple height on a human body. You cannot have high or low
No,
nipples.
I don't know about that.
Maybe low.
They
You
could
have
be-
low
Yeah,
nipples.
there's some sagging that can happen.
No one has
Amount
high
of
nipples.
space.
No.
What
there's
if they have
no...
a really short torso? I mean, it's proportionate
I
to
feel
the
like-
torso.
You have a nipple, like the humans have a nipple line. And it doesn't go. Imagine
nipple
somebody.
line.
Imagine somebody with
Look,
nipples
you're the
just
person.
an inch higher than they should be. Just 1 inch. It doesn't seem right.
What if they had a third nipple? That can go anywhere.
That's true.
That's
It
true.
can go in your
That's
forehead.
It can go no. No. Again, mammalians have a nipple line, and they go parallel down your body. Like that's why like other animals. So you can only grow nipples on your nipple line.
That's not true.
Yeah, but your nipple lines
Well,
turn.
I knew someone who had a third nipple.
Turn where?
Yeah, they turn in your armpit.
Clues
You can have a nipple in your
Yeah,
armpit.
because
Your
this is
nipple
how
can be here.
when you're a blastoma, let me be a blastoma. This is how you develop, right? So you have like a line that goes
Hey,
like that.
no, you develop from the butt first.
Oh, I'm sorry. But your nipple line is
Butt
this.
all the way through to the mouth.
Okay,
and
yeah.
Then you switch it.
But then, okay, so, but when you get armpits, then that's
That's
nipple
when
time. If I remember, I actually have a minor in this, which is ridiculous.
When you get armpits, that's nipple time.
That's what I
It's
learned.
clearly
That's
a
what I
minor.
learned from my minor
Clearly a minor.
in ecology and evolutionary biology. Yep. So when you've developed an armpit, then
Is
that's
this where
where
we talk about
that
that humans are donuts?
What?
It's true.
I mean, in the beginning.
Yeah,
I mean, you're still
yeah,
technically
right now.
a
There's a
tortoise.
center
Pretty
hole
much.
all the way through.
Pretty much everyone starts as a donut. Except for, of all the animals, except for...
Yeah, a human is
clue.
topologically a Taurus.
The only ones that don't are the jellyfish.
Well, they don't even have a brain. They just have a ganglia.
I mean, there's a lot of single-celled and just tiny microscopic
Yeah.
creatures
Were we
that
supposed to talk
eat
about
and
something
then
I'm talking about
excrete from the
related to
same.
the
I'm talking
stream?
about
I don't
multi-cell.
think
No.
so.
Okay,
I
so
think it's over.
multicellular.
No, we're
You
just.
said we were supposed to bang out schedules. Was that-
Oh well,
Oh,
once
yeah.
we get off
That
here,
not what
so
we're
we're gonna
doing?
close down the
Okay.
stream and we're gonna see
You
this
don't have to.
ridiculous
I was just
humans are a
asking.
Taurus nipple line
Yeah,
talk.
we could keep talking about nipples. That's fine.
Bye.
We have 8 people watching right now. This is like the
Yeah.
most we
Heck
ever
yeah.
had.
Because we
right.
said nipples so many times.
Nipple.
Nipples.
Summoned them through the nipple
Yeah,
speak.
they came for the dirty word.
My
no,
character in
Butch is
season
about
2
to
will
shut
be
us down
named
for saying nipple
Nipple
too
Boy.
much.
Too many.
McGrath.
Bye.
Oh, we're